Tuesday night marathon, and we are live from San Francisco. This is a very special tournament for me. It's the Steve Brandwein Memorial Tuesday night marathon. Steve Brandwein is a legendary chess player from New York and Boston. He was my predecessor here at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. He died in 2017, a couple of years ago, and there are some very heartfelt thoughts about Steve on the internet, which I encourage you to look up. He was a childhood friend, among other things. He was a childhood friend of Bobby Fischer's, and knew Fischer up into after his match with Spassky, and played chess with Fischer back in the day, and also just a great, amazing guy, a good friend of mine. I was very, very sorry to see him go. A roommate of mine, and I know many people out there feel very strongly about Steve, and he's missed and remembered. Amazing guy. Tonight is the first round of the Tuesday night marathon, which has been in existence since 1972, and is the largest running weekday tournament, weeknight tournament in the United States. We have over 100 players playing now for years in a row. The tournament was started in 1972 here at the Mechanics Institute by the chess room director at the time, Raymond Conway, who must have been pretty surprised. Chess was, sort of popular, but he suddenly found himself chess room director at the time of the biggest chess explosion in history, 1972, and started this tournament, which has remained very popular, and is in fact only increased in popularity. It's just a juggernaut now, with 3 sections, lots of prizes. We had a Grandmaster, Patrick Wolf, playing here in the last Tuesday night marathon. He got roughed up a little bit. There's many behind me. Here is who I'm going to talk to in a minute, is the current chess room director, Abel Talamantes. There's so many things that are happening here at the club. I can't even barely keep track, but I'm going to try. And also with me, and we'll be talking later, is Judith Starry, who is here at the club. And what's your official title here at the club?
General Manager of Youth Outreach and Events.
General Manager of Youth Outreach and Events. Okay, so in other words, we have the dynamic duo of Abel Talamantes and Judith, who are just taking the chess world by storm through the Mechanics Institute. I'm gonna put Abel's. We'll put Abel's name here in a second when I can use the mouse, and Judith as well, and maybe I'll get up and let them talk. So hopefully you guys can tell us about all the incredible things that are happening here at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. The things not only that have happened just in the last 2 weeks, there have been some amazing things going on here, and I'm going to turn this over to you guys, or should I just sit here and
yeah,
just hang out.
All right, I'll just
we
sit
always
here.
love you sitting here.
So I mean, just we've had a lot of chess action here in the last month, and we've had an increase in tournaments. We actually just coming off back-to-back weekend tournaments. So the last 2 Saturdays we've had a one-day events where we had pretty decent numbers. We had 35 and 30. We had a Monday night rapid, which was just amazing. Where I think our last month's rapid we had 20, which was really good growing numbers, and then we had 35, which was just incredible. And then that was the first rapid where we actually divided it into 2 sections because we had so many players.
And next rapid, actually, we're gonna have a special guest. It's
Why don't you
going
tell
to
us?
be Grandmaster Ilya.
Is it Nizhny?
Nizhnik?
Nimzovic? No,
Nimzovic.
not Nimzovic.
I think we have
It's
a book.
always like something
We have a
like
book,
that. No, Nimzovic, yes.
Nizhnik.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Ilya, right? He's a good friend of ours. He's graduating soon from Webster. I think he's finishing up Webster last year there, and he's visiting San Francisco. He's gonna do a quick simul around noon.
Okay.
It's Monday lunchtime, so we said 10 boards, nothing
Wow.
big. But a quick simul during lunch, then he's off to see a little bit of the city, and then
he's
come
gonna
back,
come back.
do a little bit of lecture, a half-an-hour lecture before the rapid starts, and he's gonna play in the rapid.
And what's the date of that?
26, August 26.
Yeah.
So,
Last Monday.
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna take advantage that
Maybe
he's
I'll
in
maybe
town.
I'll play and
Yes.
You should. That would be
You
fun.
should.
Well, now you're on record saying that you're.
That maybe on record
Yeah.
that maybe I'll play.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping we can advertise that, and people will pre-register. That helps a lot. And it was actually funny because we started pushing it a little bit more through emails and through Facebook, and registration started to come in, and it's auto. What's the right word?
It's kind of like a
It's
run.
self.
it's
self-
running away.
Yeah.
Right.
it's-
It's like a runaway train.
Yeah. So.
Picking up.
I always tell my kids, yes, nagging works, and that's why I like referencing that, because if you register, then others will register too. So don't wait.
And people just so busy, right?
Yeah.
It's like you need that reminder and that push.
Yeah, and you
Awesome.
never know if you can make it on Monday evening. I get it. So even if you register the same day, we keep updating it, and people see that okay, now it's not just 10 people but 20 registered, and then they will make an effort to come in the evening. So it's good.
And actually, one of the things about like the tournaments, I mean, Judith has been like phenomenal in just updating the registration list and kind of posting the advanced entries, and I think that's made a huge difference in just kind of the increased participation in the tournaments, and especially something like the TNM where like a lot of people are looking to see who else is playing. We were able to keep everything updated pretty well, and and here we go with another great turnout.
Right. Okay. And what was I going to say? So how much does it cost to play, Mr. Nizhnik?
I think $20.
$20 to play a Grandmaster. Okay.
The opportunity to play.
Well,
The
so the
opportunity.
rapid entry fee is $20, and we're not going to increase just because he's
Right.
here.
Right.
And I
Same
think-
as if Paul played, I mean, it would still be $20.
They should lower it if I play.
Probably.
And I don't know how much did we set the simul, but I think it's $20 too.
Yeah,
right?
it's-
It was
sure.
just,
Just
Yeah, it's
a
just
It's
very
fun, yeah.
bargain to
Yeah.
play.
and he won the Las Vegas Open this year, right?
National
The
Open,
National
Right.
Open.
Yeah, he's a big time tournament
So,
winner. Yeah,
and
yeah.
he went to go and played in the G30, G60 National in Charlotte.
And how did he do?
Won the G10
Won the
and the
G10.
G60.
Did he win by tie?
It was two.
Tie?
Yeah. I think the G10 he won outright, and then he
Yes.
tied. I believe.
So at game 15, which we're doing, he anything's possible. One of our guys will might take him
Exactly.
out.
You never know.
He's not a proven thing at game. Maybe we can get some of the local boys to,
Yeah, little strong
him a-
players.
Yeah.
Maybe we should invite Zviad. Come up.
We should actually. That would, actually, I have a video actually of Zviad playing Ilya at the
Yes,
G60,
G60,
where
when
they
we
were
were-
down to
yeah.
seconds,
Yeah.
and they were just blitzing it out, and it went for like 30 moves. It was actually really fun to watch.
Yeah.
It ended up in a draw, but it was kind of tense.
Yeah.
Well, we have we've had Caruana a few months ago. We have Mamedyarov tomorrow. We have
we
Ilya
haven't even like plugged
Nizhnik
that,
and
yeah.
Oh yeah, so we haven't heard about Mamedyarov. Okay, let's hear about
The event tomorrow.
The event tomorrow.
The event.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow we have a simul, and what's exciting about it is it's a simul experience like no other, I think. So Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, Grandmaster, last year he was ranked as high as number 2 in the world, right under Carlsen. He was actually only a few points behind Carlsen, I think like 10 points at one point. And he's going to be here tomorrow with Grandmaster Ralph Mamedov. And they're going to do a tandem simul with about 25 players, and a tandem clock simul. So the grandmasters will have an hour and a half on their clock, and the players will have 45 minutes. And so they're racing against the time and the players. But we're going to have 10 DGT boards, the top 10 players.
For the first time, I think in chess history, there's going to be a simul with commentary and DGT boards.
Yes.
As far as I know, this is the
Yeah.
first time ever.
with the commentary part of it. Yeah.
Grandmaster Nick DeFermian is joining me tomorrow to make fun of all of the players.
Well,
that
we'll see, because I mean the lineup is incredible, especially when you think of the top 10 players. So we're actually going to have Grandmaster Patrick Wolf as one of the players. We're laughing, right? Yeah, he's going to be one of the players, and and we, you asked Mamedyarov, what do you think?
Yeah,
And
I
he
did ask
basically
them if
said,
they're
"Bring
okay
him on."
with
He said, "Bring him on."
Well, he has reason to feel confident. The guy is a monster in the chess world.
Especially
And-
together with Ralph. Like, so
Yeah.
he's gonna play with Ralph together, and they're childhood friends, right?
So
So
that-
I feel that
They're cheating. It's like
well, they are cheating, right? They just have to look at each other and they
Right.
can
They're
read
like,
each
yeah.
other's
Yeah.
thoughts, right?
Rook takes knight. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not
Exactly.
fair.
Exactly. So
Well, that's going to be
So-
really entertaining. We're going to try to really have fun with that. Nick and I think we're looking forward
And,
to it.
and actually, one of the really good things is so Ladia Jurasic's going to play, and then
Now he's going to be really serious to win.
He's ready, and then
Right.
Rui's going to play.
That's the top 11-year-old girl in the country,
Right, right.
She's a master and
And-
playing in our chess
And like
tournament.
the other like 6-7 players that make up the top 10 are like
yeah.
1900, 2000 rated players that are our regular TNM club players.
Right. And we have Mark Pinto, who's a strong.
yeah,
He's a
and a
FIDE
member of our
master.
board, and same as Patrick Wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got some great representation from the Mechanics Institute. So we have board members, we have club members, we
We're going to
have
have
Mark Pinto's
spectators.
top kids. Yeah.
Spectators, children, kids trying to. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I know you're not going to be here tomorrow, Ava. You're going to the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And you're going to be a delegate
I
and all
will.
that.
I will be watching it on Twitch.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You can watch. Oh, wow. Or you can watch it on YouTube.
Or YouTube.
Right. I'm just plugging everything.
No,
okay.
or Facebook.
Or
Although
Facebook.
it will be like what 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
You're gonna
So-
be falling asleep.
I think probably Shakhriyar is going to come in here right at some point and talk to Nick and I. So what should we ask him? Like, what should we say to him? I don't know him. How did you get so good? Or, he says that he gets the same questions all the time. It
Yeah.
must be really boring. So I'm trying to think of something.
Starts
that-
with something that I think would warm him up, like open him up, like ask about his son. He has a newborn son.
Wow. Okay.
And like
yeah,
the
no
newborn
problem.
was newborn, so I think probably around half a year.
Right.
Year. So that's the fun stuff.
How old is he?
He's
The kid.
it's like half a year.
So maybe we can ask him how come he's not a grandmaster yet.
Exactly. Or what is he feeding him? Or how is he? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
Are you gonna wait till 1 or 2 to get him started on chess?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that should be fun. That should be a good conversation starter. And
Sure.
he's gonna start laughing, and
Right. And then
hopefully that will.
and then
warm-
I can ask him how the horsey moves.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
worked that in today.
And then right after, he's going to St. Louis, and he's gonna play in that
Cinquefoil.
In the
Cinquefoil
Sinkfeld Cup.
So
Well, so it's really
it
he's
was-
taken a step down after
Yeah, I
after
know.
here, you know. I mean,
This is the height of his U.S.
yeah,
tour.
right? And then he's going down to the Sinkfeld
Yeah.
Cup.
But I don't know if you remember last year, right after Sinkfeld, he had a really serious comment about compensation, chess players' compensation, how they are not paid enough,
Mhm.
and the prize funds are just right.
Yeah.
Do you remember? So maybe
I
we
don't
can
remember-
also
I don't
take it a
remember
little bit
much about
serious
that.
too, and ask him how he feels if
There was some
anything
controversy.
changed in the past year about
Okay.
prize funds, because I think he was really.
He felt
was-
like he wasn't making enough of a living.
I
for-
think it was just he was really tired because he
Mhm.
had to play a lot of games,
Right.
and I think, but I don't know honestly. But yeah, I remember he had a little bit of.
Okay, that's interesting.
I
Yeah,
can look
no,
it
I
up
don't-
for
yeah.
reference.
Yeah, yeah,
read
okay.
it out,
All right.
but,
Okay.
I always wondered if he feels anything changing, because FIDA is actually changing quite a bit, right? So they are much more organized, I feel, with
Right.
the new leadership.
With the new leadership, huh?
Yeah,
And,
so-
and you know, one of the things that I was kind of like mentioning when I was talking to him is that here at Mechanics, like here in this club and in this area, chess is thought of like on a really high level. Like it has a respect here among the players and among this community, you know, that it may not have like in other places. So I told him you're gonna have a great time here. They're gonna come after you, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, somebody's asking us if we have a fried liver attack. We have the scrambled egg
What do
attack
you-
for
What do you
you.
think, Judy? You have
I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
I
we
know
do.
who this is. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, and he's taking a little fun
Yes.
out of us. So
It's it's right behind the book on the
scrambled eggs
Yeah.
for him.
Scholars Made.
Yeah, actually, when I was building another website, a chess website, and we had to have a staging name
Uh-huh.
just offline, right? So I can test the website and everything. So they asked me, "Oh, what do you want your website to be named?" And it was Fried Liver
The
Attack.
fried liver.
Because I mean, what else?
Actually,
Right.
you want to hear
So
back in 1986,
Okay.
I won the Santa Clara County Junior High, no, it was the high school championship
Congratulations.
by winning my fourth round game using
The fried liver attack. The fried liver
Yeah.
attack is the thing.
I even remember my opponent's name, if you can believe that.
We're gonna send you,
so who was
Mr.
it?
Oh, I don't want to name it.
Oh,
Mr.
But I do know that.
Mr. Dyer will send you our entire fried liver attack collection. It fits on a real, on a floppy disk or something, for you.
So,
So, what happened here? We haven't been broadcasting for a couple of weeks. What happened in the last couple of weeks at Mechanics? I mean, there's always something going on here, but there was a lot of activity here in the last couple of weeks.
yeah, no, it's kind of funny because, even though
Come and sit down, Judith's. I'll take Judith's name off of here and put your name, Abel.
Do you want it just you?
Okay.
You're gonna get-
Here with Abel Talamentes, chess room director.
Yeah, so even though we had 2 weeks off for the TNM, we were busy kind of with our weekend tournaments because we had, like I said, we have
Two back-to-back.
the Bagby and the Pavnutiev memorials, and they were one-day events, but I mean we had really good turnout for both. So that was kind of exciting. I was worried that if we had back-to-back tournaments, that the second one would not be as a experienced turnout, but then we had kind of equal turnout. And the exciting thing is that we had a lot of different players for both events. It wasn't all the same
Right,
players.
right.
So
Just different faces.
yeah,
and
so that was kind of fun. And like I said, we had the Rapid on that Monday, which was a great Rapid. And, Rochelle Wu and Derek Derek Wu came and Jules Jelinek played in it, and that was funny. That was actually the first time that I got to actually see him, play a tournament, and that was kind of entertainment.
It's entertainment by itself.
And actually now I have to play the first Blitz tournament that starts up again. I believe it's August 28th on Wednesdays.
You'll never forget it.
Yeah, so I have to play that now.
Especially
since
if you play Jules.
Yeah, so yeah, we had a lot of just a lot of activity. We're doing a lot of planning. A lot of administration work we were doing here. Just the regular like chess business, but we planned the tournament calendar for 2020 and got that out there. There's going to be a lot more scholastic events and
here at the club
here,
and also
offsite at West Portal Elementary School. And there's going to be more, diversity events, like I've been saying. So we'll have in the coming months we'll have more G90 plus 30 FIDE rated. Keep doing our broadcasting and things like that. In the end of October we got the Speed Weekend, the State Rapid and the State Blitz.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
That'll be exciting.
That's very exciting.
A lot of action. And then
are we going to get some grandmasters for those two tournaments?
I expect that. Because a lot of the grandma, they love to play like these
faster
especially when it affects their rapid and blitz rate.
Right. It's serious, but not so serious.
And then we're just kind of gearing up to get our after-school program started. So we've kind of expanded our scholastic offerings, so we're working on that. So yeah, even with no Tina, the chess never stops.
Right, and there was one other thing. There was the U.S. Chess School.
U.S. Chess School, yeah. So that was kind of exciting.
We had Sam Shanklin here.
Yeah, Sam Shanklin and Greg Shahadi was here, and like half the kids. We had about 12 kids or so. Half of them are from the area. So Josiah Stearman was here, and Eric Lee and Rui. Balaji Dagupati was here, and it's funny because he's grown so much since I last saw him. So Kevin Pan is local also.
They were loud, but they're really strong chess players.
They were enthusiastic.
They're young and enthusiastic.
And they were spirited. I think those are the two words used to politely say that nowadays.
Our regulars were threatening to flee the room, but they stayed.
And that's actually a true story. They were like complaining, like, "What's going on over here?" But no, it was a fantastic camp. Sam's an excellent instructor.
No, he's an amazing instructor.
He gave a talk to them today. I was listening to. It was kind of about life. About the choices they make, and it defines who they are. So making good choices, and it was actually incredible.
He's an interesting guy. I did have. I always like making fun of him a little bit though, because he's so serious too.
So
he was doing one of his lectures once, and I said, and he asked the whole room, "What's your favorite move? What do you think is the right move in this position?" And I said, "Pawn takes queen mate," And
they like throw you out of the room after that.
I should have gotten thrown out of the room.
But in that rapid event, and I was gonna talk to Judith and talk to you, is like one of the things about rapid chess is the amount of scenarios that go on during rapid for a TD is just insane. Like, so there were like 5 instances of illegal moves. So I had to intervene there. But the one that was just outrageous, and it was funny because if we were broadcasting, that would have looked good on the screen because I had to run from one end of the room to the other, is I had a game where simultaneously at the same time they called me, and one game asked me to count moves because it was a king and rook against king and bishop.
Okay.
And on the other board, they call me to the board, and I look at the board, and both players are in check. And I'm like, okay.
Like 2000 rated players, right?
Yeah, so the king and rook, king and bishop, one of them involved a woman grandmaster, and then the other game with 1900 players, and they're both in check.
And they're both in check at the same time. Well, you should have just sent them back to the beginners class.
Send them to Thursday, 5:30 to 7, or Wednesday.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting, like what can come up, right? And as a tournament director, it's just
Well, we've got the tournament director pretty covered here now. We have two FIDE arbiters with you and Judith here
Yeah.
working the room, so nobody's going to get away with, double check like that.
And the funny thing is a lot of things come up that you may not even think about what you're going to actually encounter in a game.
It's crazy what the two tournament directors.
And even here, like, stuff has happened that, like, wow, like, what do you do there? And the more you do, and the more you kind of gain that experience and have these experiences, you look up in the book. Okay, so what do you do? What happens?
And then you end up knowing the book by heart.
Yeah, and you learn it that way.
It's
and,
incredible.
And there's no other way to do it other than that.
Yeah,
Like,
there's actually do it.
yeah, and there's no tournament director that like knows it all.
Right.
Anybody says they got it down. It just doesn't even make sense.
I've met tournament directors have been very, very influential people in my life. They've been a fair lot. I've never met one that's just really rubbed me the wrong way. I can't say that I have. They've always ruled on my favor.
Yes.
But
It's a tough job. It's an interesting job.
yeah, it's tough, and there's no, a lot of times judgment is what sort of dictates, everything. So
Sure.
So it's nice having so many events and so many different activities because it's an education. In the same way that chess players see positions or evaluate.
I'm looking at a position right now where it looks like Black may have just blundered two pawns, or at least one pawn.
And is it
or
playing out the
something.
way you said?
Well, it might have gotten a little different, but
Yeah.
I told Michael that his name is being fixed.
Michael
Good.
Walder.
Yeah, Walder,
He
yeah.
He said it's fine.
So since this is live TV here,
Right.
so one of the things, actually, this is good for viewers to know. So there's a challenge in round one of the TNMs, especially as we do the broadcast, because we make the pairings the same day. We have to because of the on-site registrations.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is Juan, our technician GM over there, has to communicate the players' names and the pairings to these people, at Follow Chess and Chess 24, like in the moment. And if something goes wrong, it takes, it's going to take a few minutes to fix. So what happened tonight is, one of the players' names was kind of, they put it wrong, even though we submitted it correctly.
It said Bobby Fischer when it should have said Michael.
Right, and that's just kind of a natural part of getting everything, because everyone's doing good work. It's just
There are things that are beyond our control. I mean,
Yeah.
the misspelling of the player's name on board
yeah,
too
and
was not our fault.
yeah, and it's
We'll let you know.
and there's no one's real fault because they're reacting in short time and probably the middle of the night where they're at trying to get this all fixed.
Yeah.
So the first round's always a challenge in that regard because usually after this round the pairings are actually up at noon the day before the round. So there's a lot of time to get everything right. So that's something we have to deal with, but that's part of the broadcast. That's
Yeah.
live TV.
Live TV. This is a sort of a unique thing we're doing here. If you haven't seen this before, this is above Abel and I. You can see the chess room, the oldest chess club in the United States, Mechanics Institute Chess Club. That's only part of our main room. There's another side to the room. There's 40 boards in all. Going on right now. We also have another room, a chess room annex, which is behind us, the other door, and then there's another room that we use as the tournament gets larger, and there's a very active club, and this is a unique thing where we're doing broadcasts of chess club events, and there's some things coming up, I think, in the future, like a match with a marshal, maybe planned.
Yeah, actually, do you want to?
This is really exciting
Talk
to
about
me. This could be a rivalry, a new super club rivalry, like a super
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
collaboration. Yeah, well, we have to play
That's
it
a
up.
nice way of saying rivalry.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what's going on now with us and the Marshall?
Well, we are just talking yet, but,
Right, but-
we're actually talking with one of the board members there.
Uh-huh.
Is he a board president or
Vice President
vice president?
Noah Chasen.
So his son was actually in the U.S. chess school, so we had a talk with
Oh, yeah, I
him,
met
and
him.
Abel met with Beatrice as well.
Okay.
So we're in early discussions setting that up, but Noah seems very, let's get this going and make it happen.
And what is it exactly that's going to happen? We hope.
We actually haven't
don't know?
finalized the details yet, but it is going to be some sort of team tournament. So Marshall versus mechanics versus Marshall.
That sounds like a rivalry.
So
like a
yeah,
start
it
of
is.
a-
And he said he only needs 5 minutes to put together a team.
Oh,
And I said, okay, we might need a whole day.
Yeah.
So
but,
he seems to
what
be
a
very-
fantastic,
Yeah.
an obvious thing to happen is
Yeah.
us playing the Marshall on a sort of a regular basis because we are the strongest and oldest chess team in the country, but also on the West Coast. And this is
Yeah.
the Marshall, the legendary
Yeah.
Marshall Chess Club.
And Marshall does have a lot of GMs there.
And they have a
A lot of GMs there.
We're gonna have to dig deep. I mean,
yes.
I
So,
don't know.
but it's fun. I think we are aiming to start sometimes in September.
Uh-huh.
How regular it will be, we'll see. Let's get the first one started,
Okay.
and then
Well, there's something is going to happen.
yes.
I think.
And so I
can
think
feel
he's
it.
gonna get us in touch with their executive director. They
Okay.
have a dedicated executive director there,
Right.
which is nice, and hopefully we can make it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. There's so many incredible things happening here. We don't even know what they are. There's so many talented people
actually,
working here.
Daniel Perlo is asking Marshall about Marshall. No, they don't. We have Naroditsky and Shankland, yes, and we can invite
some pretty
Svea
good-
too.
We have our ringers.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I can invite some other GMs too. Marshall is the historical chess club in New York City.
Right.
They are the second oldest chess club in the U.S. after us,
Right.
of course, and they do own their own building too, like
Right,
us.
right.
And it's an open club. It's a very nice historical club. If you haven't been there,
I want to visit there. I can't believe I never have been there, but I'm going.
hop on to the plane
I know.
and go.
I know. I'm
It's-
going to Hawaii first.
Yes, that's a little bit better. And then go to New York. So Marshall, it's actually fun. They do have a lot of tournaments, a lot of FIDE tournaments.
Yeah.
I remember last year this time, I was talking with Ruth Herring.
Okay.
She was the FIDE representative from USCF.
Uh-huh.
So she was preparing for her talk at US Open, the delegates meeting,
Right.
about his report on FIDE tournaments, and he said, Judith, we are actually leading the number of FIDE tournaments, but Marshall is going to take over the last 2 months because they have so many in the fall.
Uh-huh.
So, and I still remember how she told me that we actually did a lot of FIDE tournaments in the early, the 2/3 of the year, and
Okay.
then she was telling me Marshall will take over because they have a lot of these small FIDE tournaments.
Yeah, they
which is-
do. Yeah, they
so
do.
maybe something we should start competing with them a
Uh-huh.
little bit more.
Different demographics or
Yes.
different clubs, different accessibilities to different things. Somebody says, since this is Steve's memorial tournament, who's going to be called a moron? I volunteer if the job is open. Steve was fond of calling people moron. So yeah, okay, you can have the job, Jay Dyer.
I don't know why he's disappearing, but
He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So, Yeah, so they have a lot of tournaments. They do open tournaments mostly, I think.
Right.
They do a little bit less scholastic, not that many scholastic tournaments.
Right.
Which, we are at the same boat, I think. We are trying to increase our scholastic offerings. I actually love seeing the kids playing here.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Mixing the two crowd maybe not a good idea, but
we
do
get enough
love-
mix, I think, when they're playing in the week with the Saturday
Yes.
tournaments or
Yeah.
something. There's a good
Yeah.
mix of old and young players. But if we just hold regular tournaments, they'll come
Yeah.
out. Both will come out, the
Yeah.
older players and the younger
Yeah.
players.
But I do like when we have the scholastic tournaments and the little kids play in these historic boards. It's something very good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, any final? I guess I should get to commenting on some of these games. But,
Okay.
But do you have
I
any?
can't help you in that.
Do you have any parting words
Well,
for the
maybe one more thing.
Sure.
We have a Smith Memorial coming up.
the Bernardo Smith?
Yes, and that's a really unique tournament. And I
Okay.
want to explain. Maybe some players are
Sure.
interested.
What's the date of the tournament?
I think it's April 17th and 18th.
April?
August.
August.
Sorry.
So it's coming up.
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
In 2
I
weeks.
Think. So
Okay.
not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
It's a 2-day tournament,
Okay.
and it's for under 2200s.
Okay, so it's an amateur tournament under 20. No
Yes.
masters allowed.
No masters allowed, but
Right.
it is FIDE rated.
But it is FIDE rated.
And the time control is game in 90, delay 5.
Okay, so it's kind of like it's a modified Tuesday night marathon
Yeah,
time
well,
control. Yeah.
It's still 30 minutes less, and this
Right.
delay 5. Yeah. So normally you have to have game in 90 minutes plus 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a game in 90, you have to have a plus 30-second increment in order to FIDE rate. If you want to invite everyone or
I see.
anyone, but if you are limited to under 22,000, then you can do delay 5. So that's what
interesting.
we are
I would
doing.
never have known that. I would never.
It's a little nuance for FIDE.
Yeah.
So that's why we are limiting under 2200.
Okay.
It's 2 rounds each day, so very relaxing
for 2 days.
for 2 days.
So
So
4
4
rounds.
rounds altogether.
Okay.
I'm expecting a good, clean first winner, hopefully.
Okay.
With 4 rounds,
It can happen.
we should
Yeah, yeah.
have that
Yeah.
with that.
And there's
I
nothing
don't
wrong
know
with it.
how many sections we have.
Is
have
it
to
in
look.
sections or
I-
is it an open with
No,
class prizes?
I think it's in sections. Let me double
Sure,
check.
go
Okay.
take a look.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. So you go to chess club.
Our website is chessclub.org.
though-
It's very difficult to remember.
It's very, very difficult. And you go there, and on the right side, you have the upcoming events. So the first one is the Tuesday night marathon, and then you can click on the Smith Memorial and then go
So
down.
it's a 4-round,
Yes.
and it's
And
in sections.
in sections. So we have an under 1800 and the 1800 plus section. Okay, so.
Okay, so it actually is 1800 plus and under 1800.
Yeah.
2 sections. That's the first for this tournament, I
Yeah.
think. It used to be open.
Actually, viewers can't see this, and this is Juan, by the way. Thank you, Juan, for everything you do.
Right. What? Okay, Juan, show us
we're
what
being
to do.
ordered by Juan
No,
to,
this is great.
to do something.
We're in transition here. Okay.
There you go.
Boom, there is something. Yeah, something.
Can you guys hear better?
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah. Is this better audio?
Well,
So
well-
yes, it is in sections, but it's to encourage the higher rated players to come out. Really, the 1800 plus players to
Okay,
feel
That's
that
interesting.
they don't need to play that first round or second round to go
Okay.
through those lower rated, but they can actually
Okay.
play.
Okay.
And that's also with the time control. I think this used to be a faster tournament.
Right.
And
That's
but
right.
we had 2 fast tournaments: game in 40 the weekend before, the game in 50 this
So we're-
past
we're
weekend.
slowing
So
it down.
The game in 50,
yeah,
we worked that one together.
Yeah.
That was so much smoother.
yeah,
because it was 4 rounds.
So you're still trying to find out the ideal time controls for the different days and
also just to offer different time controls.
Right, that's
So
interesting.
different players prefer different time controls.
I've
They're not
noticed that.
gonna play every single weekend. So
right.
hopefully in a month everyone can find their ideal tournament.
That's
Find
fantastic.
a groove.
That's so
And
great.
I just want to give a shout out to Judith. If anybody that's registered for a tournament, I say that and then she like disappears from
Yes, I know.
but this is something that Paul has like said repeatedly. Like you haven't been here to hear it, but just the website, putting kind of like the pictures of the people for who the memorial is for, the information. It's just been phenomenal, and I know Paul has.
This chess club has upped its game recently with a lot of changes made with the broadcasting, with Judith's being hired in, with all the changes that have come since Abel has become director.
I mean, Judith has basically like a lot of our web presence, like the chess club website. I mean, look at that. I mean, holy cow. I mean, she's like populated the the USCF IDs, the expiration. Like it's
we're entering the 23rd century with her,
like
and
Star
more.
Trek, Battlestar Galactica level.
But
That was
actually,
an inside joke.
Yes, it is.
so I mean, we're also kind of doing unique things. We're doing some things that we're playing catch up with a little bit, right? But we're also doing things that are unique and completely original, I think. So it's the Mechanics
exciting.
Institute. It's the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, folks. It's come along for the ride. It's
But I will need your help with some of the pictures, because there are some people I can't find pictures, like for example Bernardo Smith.
okay.
I couldn't find anything.
You know
So
what?
I actually emailed Kerry
Uh-huh.
Lawless, but he couldn't find anything. So maybe you can.
One thing that would be really good is to have a gallery on the front page of our website. Like here's our historical. Here's the world champions that have played here. Here's some
It's like the one
historical.
you put together.
Yeah, I put together one. I put it up on.
It's like
but
pictures of
the chess club historic. We have so many. Capablanca played here. Alekheim played here. Fischer played here.
Starray played here.
Spassky has played here. We have photographs of so many grandmasters and Tal here, and there's just a rich history that we'd like to share, and we're going to share. We're going to find ways to share that with the public.
And
Actually, our photographic archive is huge.
Actually, one of the things we've toyed around with, actually, one thing that Judith was one of the things when she came, is one of her like projects. I mean, we talked about kind of the annex,
the chess annex,
kind of arranging the pictures to kind of more reflect kind of the history that includes more of the more recent, like the players and that have been
And also
influential,
just to
not just
kind
the
of
champions, but
help put it in historical order, so
Mhm.
that it's easier to kind of.
we what that room was a complete disaster, and then I'll take credit for it. I started putting up all the pictures up on the wall.
It's very
and
fun
it
to
looked,
just look around.
people like it. People
You
like
everywhere
it,
you look something
but it's
interesting.
not
And
perfect.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of those pictures were out in the chess out in the chess room and got brought in there. We were told that they were not wanted there.
it wasn't aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. There's a lot of chaotic things about some of the way that, we have to try to grab some people like Kerry Lawless and John Donaldson and sort of help. They need to help us a little bit.
Yeah.
I realized that going into the chess book collection here at the Mechanics, that I was limited in terms of some of the stuff that I knew. I'm not able to do everything here.
Actually, but
and none of us are.
But even with the books, I mean, Paul's really
It's so nice.
Yeah, Paul and
I've done.
It's nice.
you've gone.
I'm limited. I know a lot, but I'm still limited in certain ways about what I can do. And
But we've increased the presence of books and magazines in the chess room, even that's available to players.
And
that's
we,
kind of exciting.
the Mechanics Institute Library chess collection is undergoing some changes as well. Some of it are historic because apparently the Dewey Decimal people, the Mechanics Institute has actually petitioned the Dewey Decimal people to change the opening. Now chess books in the libraries will be able to be ECO coded.
Yep,
Where,
that's huge.
Under the Dewey, before it was all like within like one number, they all had to fit.
And then that's you guys, right?
That was actually Steve
Steve
Dunlop
Dunlop,
and me in discussion getting that done.
Yeah.
So that was big, and now I've taken much more of an interest in the chess book collection, and I recently got rid of a few hundred books out there.
You relocated.
Replaced with other books. So things are interesting in the chess. It's good. It's good. Yeah, the Mechanics Institute is a big thing of all kinds of things. The library, the broadcasting, the tournaments. It's a cultural thing that's
good.
running away with itself sometimes. Anyway, I'm
You know
blabbing
whose
on.
birthday is tomorrow?
No.
Daniel Perlow's birthday.
Okay, happy birthday. Are you going to play Daniel against Mamedyarov?
He's 16. I don't think he's signed up, but
No.
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to double check.
You could celebrate your birthday.
His dad
by-
is playing in the middle section.
Oh, okay.
so-
And thanks for watching.
Yeah, he's
And
good. I wish. No, it's closed already. So we closed it a couple of
okay.
probably 5 days ago. So
All right, that's your answer.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Judith. You want to look at some games?
Yeah, let's look at some
Okay,
games.
let's look at some games. So this is the first round of the Tuesday night marathon. The top. Let's see, interact. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Okay. I think. Do I need to transition in order to interact with the boards?
No.
Or this is good. People are seeing this now. Okay.
Nice.
So this is Stearman versus Ostrovsky on board one. Josiah Stearman is our top board. He won't be next week because Kyron Griffith is coming, and he's 2450, I think, plus. Stearman is white, and we're getting Gyuko Piano. Slow game, quiet game. Very trendy opening, and the players are just making sort of normal moves, and White's gaining. Okay, so this is an interesting point in the game. So White takes here. If Black takes back, Rook takes Rook, Queen takes Rook, Pawn takes Pawn, and White wins a pawn, and then the E5 pawn falls. So Black has this prepared in response. So now the pawn takes knight, and the knight comes back there attacking the pawn at E5. So far the material is even. Let's
How
see.
will he be able to defend that?
He's not going to be able to
See?
defend that pawn at E5. I think Black may eventually. He counterattacks on this, though, on the C3 pawn, which is very clever. White takes there. E5 is still hanging. And this is a point where Black could have thought about maybe taking on C3. But then knight E5, so Black takes time off to defend that pawn, and White can develop there. I think White has definitely come out ahead on this. Well, right now he's a pawn ahead. So let's see what
Can
black.
he defend that C pawn up there?
Well, black. It's not going to be easy for black to attack
Attack.
it right now. I think black is finding himself in a little bit of trouble here. A pawn down, and maybe the threat is even rook to A5. And attacking the knight, and then the other rook coming and maybe attacking the A pawn. So I think Hosea is in a good shape here. All right,
Nice.
let's go to the next game. On board
He
2.
Daniel doesn't like the centralized knight, he say. For white is much better.
This is a crazy game.
Yeah.
This is Michael Walzer versus Eric Lee. Walzer is a very experienced player. He's a national master, and he's playing the top 11-year-old in the country, Eric Lee, who's a strong master now.
Battle of the Generations.
And it's Battle of the Generations. And look at this opening, which has become popular again. Very, very sharp opening. Knight d5. This used to be analyzed like this is. I don't know what the theory is on this anymore. This was a very, very sharp opening. You can see that black is can come under a terrific attack here. And now Michael just sacrifices another piece, and maybe he's a rook down now. And I think he's throwing too much. He's throwing too much away here. Now the threat is queen takes c2 mate. I think white has thrown too much wood through. Yeah, it's been really complicated. Black is threatening mate in 1. So white's going to probably have to play bishop takes bishop, knight takes bishop. And then if pawn takes knight, knight to f2. I don't know. I don't think white's going to get away with this, folks. That's my superficial analysis.
Wow.
Let's
That was a lot of too much wood in the chipper. I like black, but the white position is complicated, said Quentin.
I'm leaning over, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, this is a great looking game, actually. I mean, it's very exciting. There's no doubt about it. We're gonna move on to
A rook is a rook.
right. A rook is a rook is a rook is a rook. Let's move on to the third board because we're a little behind here. I'm not sure of the rating of these. I don't know this player.
Let me.
He must be a master. He's.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Are we in the same?
No, you go ahead. You
No,
go
no.
ahead.
I'm wondering if we are
I
same.
think we are.
Okay.
So-
Let me put this up here, and then we can take a peek. So Arman is 22-24, and Ethan is 2000.
Yeah.
And now it's yours again.
Okay. So this is a master I've never heard of playing in our tournaments. And he's white. Armin Baradaran versus Ethan Boldy, who's a youngster and has played here many times. He's a strong expert. Has yet to crack the master.
Are you done? Do you want to sit down a little bit?
My
few
mom
minutes?
is here.
Hmm?
My mom is here.
Did you win?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Roy.
This
All
was the
right.
last day of the camp,
It's been
right?
a long day.
That's so sad.
Mm.
I had a lot of fun hiding air stuff.
You're like,
It's been a long day. Passing like a ship in the night is the strongest 11-year-old girl in the country, Rui Yan, and she's playing, and she
Yeah,
won
she
her
did
first
win.
game, and now she's going to China for for a month, and then going to come back and play and play. So we're really happy to have these strong young chess players here.
hey Rui, you have some fans in the chess, yes.
Yeah, in the chat.
Do you want to say hi to them? Here.
Hi.
Okay.
You can see it.
All right.
Anyway.
Anyway, okay, so this is our, and we have white has a nice little space advantage here. Black is a little cramped, and now it's hard to play c5. And this is a radical move to try to cramp Black's position. And sort of make that bishop at b7 a spectator. I like this move.
Are you a national master? They are asking.
I used to be.
Used to be. Well, once you get the national master, you don't lose that. That's you can't lose it. So you
I
are.
used to be 2209.
And what's your rating currently?
2193.
Okay. So you're gonna pump this up soon.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, you don't lose.
Oh yeah, I'm playing China.
You're gonna, but then you're gonna get the FIDE rating up, huh? Good.
VA range really low.
Well, that's why you
It'll
have to go
it'll get-
outside of the US and play some more. Go to Europe. Do you want to visit Europe?
Well, I play at Europe only for the World Youth.
You should come to
There's a
Hungary.
lot of tournaments coming up.
Yeah, Hungary. There's a lot of good tournaments in Hungary.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay.
Okay,
There you go.
bye, Roy.
Hey, you can see.
See you in a month.
Did you get me?
No, you
No,
you,
we didn't get you.
you snuck out.
See you tomorrow, right? You come tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm playing the Mama Dad.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
Sounds
you're
good.
playing
Do,
Mama June.
do you know which board you are on?
Yeah, it's already
Okay.
on chess 24.
Let me see which player you're. What ranking are you? And then I can tell you which.
The number
So,
of people.
okay, so you are. This is not in rating order. This is in rating order. 1, 2,
You're gonna
three,
be definitely.
4.
We're gonna be
Currently
commenting
4.
on your game.
Yeah,
Me
we
and
are.
Nick DeFermi.
I'm
and
gonna die.
You're gonna die. Well,
we
I
want
don't
you
think.
to win,
I don't think you're gonna die, but you might lose the game.
and you might win.
We'll
and
see.
we're gonna be rooting for you.
Yes.
Wait,
We're
when is
definitely
it?
gonna
Oh,
be-
it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay.
and it's not only Shak but Rauf Mamedov too.
Wait, I'm playing 2 games?
No, you're playing one game but against 2 grandmasters.
It's a tandem.
So it's like they are walking around.
Oh,
And
wait.
they
Whoa,
can-
whoa, whoa, whoa. This, okay, so like average. I want to calculate
No time to
average.
think.
So you're going to have
Half hour?
45 minutes.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Right.
play whatever this guy plays.
No.
I wouldn't do that. I'd play your game.
Yes.
He's on his way down, and you're on your way up.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, he hasn't played in a while, so you should. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Bye, Roy.
Yeah, and Ellie Maxim can't make it. My heart is breaking for Maxim. He is the guy who's there at every single simul.
Okay.
Every time we throw a simul with anyone, he's there. So he can't make it.
It's going to be a fun event tomorrow.
Yeah, he registered and he just pulled out today. So. We
So
are
Ethan
sad.
Baldy exchanges the knight on e5, and then White is trying to keep the bind here. Black is rook d6. No, f4. Okay. This is very passive play by Black. This is not good. Bishop a6 now. Black's playing too quickly and is finding himself in a very cramped position here. A draw at best for Black, but he'll be very lucky. Okay, going on to board 4. Askin versus Wong. Russell Wong is a master that's been floored. Okay, let's see.
What was this?
This is
Even
an
I know you don't.
Alekhine's defense, where Black, instead of playing d6 immediately, goes back with the knight to b6, and now White tries to chase the knight some more.
I've never seen this,
Yeah.
but that's my.
I haven't
sorry.
really seen it either. In fact, I'm not seeing it right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
black
like
is-
the fourth move with
yeah.
the knight.
I don't like this position for black at all. And white's playing a lot of pawn moves too, but I mean white could have played f4 there and made another pawn move.
You know what reminds like
It's like a
I'm-
French defense.
every single opening principle we teach the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very beginner kids.
Right.
How to start the player.
Right.
They are not doing.
They're
it.
not doing it. They're
Right?
not developing
Like-
the pieces.
And then they are moving the same piece all over.
But
Mm.
these moves make sense. They
Okay.
may not be good, but they
Yeah,
do
I
make
have
sense.
to study. I have to study, but I'm just.
The
It's funny.
Alekhine, we'll go back to, this is I don't know if you've seen, you know the Alekhine defense?
No,
Which
I
is-
don't. So
okay.
obviously.
This is the Alekhine defense.
Okay.
Who played that? I played that.
Russell Wong.
But then he moves around.
I even saved a book.
I
Of
put
the
that book in
Alekhine
the
defense.
library. That book is, I just donated it to the library.
The one from here?
Yeah.
I saved it.
I
That
didn't
was
know
his
that.
book.
You donated it?
I put it up in the I put up Stephen Dunlap.
Jeez.
It was, I'm sorry. I put it in the library.
It's over here for a reason.
You're gonna study
I can grab it again from.
No, but I just like having it there.
in
Okay.
case you need it. Nice.
I'll get you a book. The next book on the Alekhine, I'll get you.
Alright. I'll be able to make another book on Alabama.
This is the first unusual move. Black goes back unprovoked. In other words,
Yeah.
white didn't make a move to chase the knight, and he made that move. And now white decides to chase the knight some more,
Okay.
and
2-0.
the knight ends up back on this square, and black is sort of playing a French defense, but kind of an inferior variation.
Hmm.
White's playing very aggressively,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says 1-0.
but
They
Oh,
step,
see that you
they step,
that
they
attacks.
set up the
Okay,
board.
so
And Rui won.
She was really nice. She come over here and
all right, let's go back a couple of moves here. Black plays rook h5, attacking this pawn, and white plays knight a3 to go knight b5 and take here. But maybe black should take here on g5, because what happens is he goes there and then loses the attack on g5,
Yeah.
and white and just
Still
playing
withdraw with
so
it.
passively. Black is playing so
Yeah.
passively. I think knight d6 check is a good move here, and also just going back with the knight is good too, probably. Black has a horrible looking game. There's just no two ways about it. I'm gonna get rid of that
Yeah. Just.
so that
Yeah.
we can see if there's any chat.
Well,
Oh,
there.
Back here?
No. Go
Here?
back. Yeah, and then just the second tab. Yep.
Ah.
There you
okay.
go.
All right. People are starting
But-
to comment on
Yeah,
the game.
this pawn structure I don't like. Where trading is good right now. This looks like a Deemer opening queen first.
All right, let's go to board 5. And
yeah,
this
they
is-
want to see
more-
her Natalia. Yes.
Okay, let's go through this game quickly. Natalia is
Let
white.
me have Andy take my place. He's a slightly better player than me.
Okay.
And he
Alright.
will be a better match for you to discuss
Alright.
the games.
I'm going to take Judith's name off of here, but I'm not sure that we don't have your name, and
Oh, that's
Do you want to put it in?
I'd have to ask Juan to
Okay.
do it.
No.
that's okay. Can you shoot it for a little bit?
But I can tell people what your
Yeah,
name
Andy
is.
Schleich. Andy, coach.
Yeah.
Andy, tournament director. So tell us about your tournament directing. I know nothing about your.
Anything?
Do you-
yeah.
Do you tournament direct in the east, north, west, or south? Or
So,
all over.
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. Judith actually recruited me out here to come to the Bay Area, so I've been here since the end of May.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a tournament director, organizer, coach, player back in Wisconsin, And,
Wow.
Yeah, here I am.
So are you making a living directing tournaments or?
No, I
organizing?
teach for Bay Area Chess right now.
Okay.
And I'm helping out here
Right,
tonight.
right.
So
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So you know Judith and Abel from there.
well, Abel left in December
Right.
from Bay Area Chess, so I never met Abel actually.
Oh, okay. So you're newer than that.
I'm brand new. Judith actually met me when Bay Area Chess, and when Judith was with Bay Area Chess, she organized the Pan Am College Championships.
Right.
And I was coaching at the time University of Wisconsin at Whitewater. And
Okay.
we came out here.
You were coaching, so you're a
was
strong
coaching.
player.
On paper I'm 1700, but I've taken some students to National Master and
Okay,
things like
nice.
that. So
Yeah, well, yeah.
I just need to play some more. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're commenting on some of the boards here. I think I got down to board 6 here.
Okay.
This is Natalia Sodokova. She's a master, a women's FIDE master as well. She might be very 2190 something, but she's been a master, and she's playing an experienced player, Mingson Chen. This is an old Fischer way of playing, an Alekhine way of playing against the winnower. I think the white knights are sort of misplaced, and black really doesn't have much of a trouble getting equality, sort of no matter how black plays this. Black seems to have done a pretty good job. Can't castle, but
No, but that's okay. You have the nice Anderson would have been nice. That would have been happy to play this.
yeah.
Having the artificial castling.
Now white
So-
has the 2 bishops, so I think maybe this has gotten a little
Yeah,
better
and
for white.
space. All that space.
Yeah. Pawn majority on the queen side. Things are getting a little heated up here, though.
Oh yeah.
So if pawn takes pawn, maybe b5. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens.
Play.
Black is thinking.
Okay, so
Pawn takes pawn.
takes pawn. You take
Pawn,
b5.
pawn to b5 with the idea of playing b6 and winning the exchange. Or queening.
Yeah, especially with the bishop on f4. You have to watch out.
Uh-huh.
It's just walking this way.
Natalia's a very aggressive player, and Ming is experienced, but is probably quite out of practice. But not to be underestimated. In fact, nobody in the Tuesday night marathon is to be underestimated. All right, let's move on. I'm making snappy chess judgments.
Josiah finished.
This is Kalen Melville versus Alexander Ivanov. Ivanov is a player who's been rated a master, but seems to not be able to stay up there.
Oh, you just have to get it once and you're national master. So
Is that right?
yeah.
But he's not able to keep his rating over 2200. So they give you the title if you
Yeah.
You
You just hit it.
That's
You
what
just
I
have to
said
hit
to
it
you.
once.
Once you cross it,
It didn't
they don't
Then
used
you're
to
good.
be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you're only a master if you're rated 2200.
Yeah, they. Yeah,
They're
now you keep
slacking
it,
off.
or they want to keep interest. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's an international.
Melville
I can double let me pull
versus
it up.
Ivanov. These two players, Kalen Melville is an up and coming player. And look at this sacrifice. This is, I'll bet you this is booked though somehow. It just keeps throwing
Yeah.
more wood on the fire. White's threatening bishop e4 maybe.
Yeah, this has to be book.
Maybe bishop e4, queen goes back to e8, and then maybe queen g8 threatening knight e6. Getting another pawn for it. Boy, this is, I'm not sure what's going on here.
No, I'm trying to.
Bishop e4,
I don't.
maybe bishop e4, queen e8, queen g8. That's what I keep looking at.
She is.
Then there's no way to defend that pawn at e6.
No. Oh,
It's very
what if instead
complicated.
what if instead if they play bishop b4, queen a6,
h6.
h6, yeah.
Then you could trade and play knight takes e6 check. I mean,
Check,
it's possible. With how many pawns? 4, 6,
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
4, 5, 7 pawns to. Well, I mean, it's not that many pawns. Black's got a little pawn mass on the queen side.
Yeah, but this way at least you get the queens off the board. So
Yeah.
the attack's can't be as
Well,
strong.
I mean, White's in danger of getting his queen trapped almost.
Yeah.
I think the attack is gone. It'd be nice to get that e6 pawn, though. I think White has to scoop up that e6 pawn to have any chance at all in this game now. Okay. This is Michael Lynn versus Clarence Lehman. And I think these are two experts. Let's see how this game, it's a King's Indian. It transposes into a King's Indian with this trendy H3 line. I'm not an opening expert by any means. Knight d7. Okay, this makes sense to me. Let's see. Back here, instead, Black doesn't really need to play Queen e7
No.
and can probably play Knight h5 right away. But then g3, and there's something that tells me this has all been seen before.
Yeah. Well, and
Knight
now-
h7 is another move, and if Queen d2, h5.
Yeah.
There's all these ways of I'm not sure.
Yeah, but then you can look at bishop h6, at least trading off the dark squared bishop, having a way to attack.
No, White doesn't always want to trade off the white squared bishop, the dark squared bishops in this, because remember that's kind of Black's bad bishop.
Yeah,
Only
with
if he gets
e5.
a mating attack.
Yeah, or you can make a break in the center.
Yeah. I don't like that King h7 move either.
No, but it's a common idea.
No, Black. Let's see. Could White have played a little more forcefully here? Instead of bishop g5, maybe knight g5 check to try to come into e6? That kind of
makes
makes
sense.
a little more sense to play knight g5 check here, folks. Bishop g5 is I think wishy-washy. This seems to have almost turned out well for Black now. I think bishop g5 was a mistake. Although White can still play bishop takes h6 and knight g5, but he's falling behind a little bit. I think in the last couple of moves.
Yeah, and if you play knight g5 right away, you force the king to go back to h8. Because if you have f7, then you have the tactic on e6 too. So you can go up the exchange, or they have to trade the bishop for the knight.
White could also play h5 here. So I mean, he's
Yeah.
thinking of a lot of things. h5 might be strong. Yeah, this is still very unclear. Okay, let's move on. I think the best person. Okay, this game was won in no time by Rui, who we just saw, and let's see how this game was won by the strongest 11-year-old girl in the country. Very classical setup for Black. White knight e5 is a little this double fianchetto with knight e5 here, sort of transposing into a ready opening. And this knight e5, knight takes d7 is completely harmless. It looks to me like White should play f4 is the only move that in any way justifies knight e5, because you just spent
You're
Two
losing all this
moves.
tempo.
2 moves to
Yeah.
exchange your knight. That's bad. Black is, and now d4 is just obvious. And the knight goes probably in the wrong direction with knight b5. This is just, and this is further bad moves on white's part. Black probably didn't have to play a6, but even so, winning a
Yeah, the
pawn. Yeah, this is just. Oh, it doesn't quite win a pawn, does it?
Yeah, but it gives you a target on b3.
Yeah, gives a target on b3, and that's exactly what happens here. Black exchanges
So they get their pawn.
into rook b. White has no time to play e takes d4 because of rook b8. I think, although it looks like the bishop could go back to a1. So I'm not sure. Oh, black can just play pawn takes pawn,
You
and
can't,
then
you can't play a1 because then you just take the knight.
well, then the rook at b8. I'm saying if rook
Oh, if
b8,
exchange.
if pawn takes pawn,
Pawn.
rook b8, but then bishop a1 is possible. But black can simply play pawn takes pawn on the knight at a3, so that kills that. So white retreats the bishop right away, and this is just the most uninspired game by white, and now white just lost a piece.
Yeah.
And this is probably pretty easy to take care of with a little accurate play. Let's see, that bishop e4 is a nice move, I think. If bishop f6, bishop
Then you
g2.
take- and then this a pawn
Yeah.
is running down the board pretty soon.
Yeah, so this is just a little bit of accuracy, and young players nowadays are trained by their coaches like Sam Shanklin to be careful in these kind of positions. This is it. Yeah. Easy technical victory. Very bad game by Felix, who's capable of playing a lot better. It's just a completely uninspired play by white. Sorry to say
Yeah,
it,
no.
you know. But. All right, on to board 9, which is the top board in the A-B section. It's not actually the 9th strongest board. An off night. Some Daniel Pirlov says Felix had an off night. An off night.
No,
That's a chess joke. Chess joke. Trash. That's Buscara. Hold on a second. And this is trash. Yeah, all of it's trash. Abel and I threw it out today.
Yes, that's trash.
Okay. So this is the top board in the A-B section. And so we're one of the things we're doing here at the club is not only highlighting the the top
Strongest
boards and
games,
the
yeah.
strongest boards, but also we're very interested in the games of the lower ranked players. In fact, we have a Wednesday and Thursday class, and also during the lecture here where we are highlighting often the club members' games. We find them just as interesting as the Grandmaster games. With all the mistakes that are made, there's still missed opportunities, and it's still chess, and it's fun.
Yeah, it
Fun
gives the little
stuff.
guy a chance to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
stage
yeah.
too, and
Right, exactly.
everybody likes that.
So, but these are players that they've been around, both of these guys. This is, and we're getting the very, Bishop e2 is not the normal move here. Let's see why. I guess this is all book. Queen a5 check, that's an old move, I think. King f1, no reason not to play c3.
Yeah, that gives the knight on a3 another
Yeah,
square to
why
run to
not play c3 here?
get a little more space. You
If-
take away squares
If
from their knight on
b4,
c6.
knight c4 comes in.
Yeah.
So I think queen a5 check is an old move. I think this is actually still book. King f1 though.
Yeah,
What is
especially
going
with an open
on?
rook.
Knight f6 check. Why didn't he take it?
Well, he's probably worried about
Oh,
bishop,
queen
bishop
D6.
takes, queen d6. You're threatening a couple minor pieces.
Yeah, look at that little trick. You're right. I didn't see that. Okay. Queen d5 threatens,
Still the same thing. Still hoping that he's going to take the knight.
and the knight goes back to that square.
Yeah, the trick doesn't work anymore.
No, and black is getting all the tempos back. And that's probably a good move.
Yeah, it cuts the queen off from h6.
Cuts the knight off. Yeah,
So,
yeah, very good. White played.
oh,
White's still trying to open it up though. Bishop h3 check. And the king
King is
goes back that
back
way.
to u1.
F3. I'm not sure.
Well, no, you get queen h6. That should just be played immediately.
But maybe, yeah. Check, but is white just chasing the bishop is hanging at h3?
Bishop's hanging. Well, I mean, he could have probably taken the bishop. He could have probably taken the pawn at f3 first,
Right.
and then
the bishop was hanging.
well, the bishop would have relocated somewhere. Probably not e6, maybe d7. But then you get all the space you want.
You got to hand it to these guys though. They're playing aggressive chess,
very
and I like it. I
aggressive.
like it. It's good chess.
Yeah.
This is good. Been a good game so far. b4 knight c2. I hope white doesn't try to castle at some point. He's already
White
moved
can't
his
castle
king.
anymore.
All right, now we're going to go to the top board in the under 1600 section, and this is Albert Starr versus Sanjay Saraf, who's playing in his first chess tournament since he was a kid.
Oh.
I know, and he's playing against one of our regular old timers, Albert Starr. And let's go back a little bit. We have a very slow opening here with white, and black is just playing normal kind of chess, and that's kind of an unprovoked capture, but it's not bad actually. I don't like queen e7, which just puts the queen on a square where you can get hit by the knight, but that's not necessarily bad. And that's a good move, g6.
G6 prevents it. Now they're probably going to cast queenside.
Black is equal. a6 doesn't look like it needs to be
Probably didn't need
played.
to.
No.
They were probably worried about the bishop at some point, but you didn't.
And
need
white
to.
plays f4, which is thematic. And black castles on the queen side. And white does the same thing, although white could have castles on the king side. And
then it's a race to see whose attack works first.
yeah, but now it's just more like black. Not much going on here. Rook e1 is a bit of mysterious to my mind.
Yeah.
Seems the rook would go to f1.
Oh, well, then where's the h rook go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Uh,
that bishop doing nothing there.
yeah. And it cuts off the other rook. The rook has the target on f7 maybe. later.
Black is playing a good game of confinement. G5 is a little opening up, but black is playing aggressively, and both players are starting to try to open up the game here. And
Even if they don't need to.
yeah, even if they don't need to.
Yeah, they need to get the rest of their pieces active first, and then.
Oh, black is strengthening white's center,
Yeah.
and they're just kind of black
Chasing
is
each
finding a
other.
good square. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
Nice outpost for the knight.
Yeah, I got it. It's not been a terribly played game. It's
No.
just it's
But that bishop wants to go to d5.
yeah, it's a fight. Oh, black plays f5,
Oh.
letting white have a pass pawn in the center to try to create a pass pawn himself on the king side.
He finds bishop d5.
Bishop d5, knight g5, rook f2, trying to restrain the f pawn. This is a great fight. Another, but that seems to block black own rook out of the game. But
And then he gives
but he exchanges it. That's the only way to defend that pawn.
And black's just defending here.
Okay, threatening knight c3 check. This game is still up for grabs. Okay, bishop
no, that was a
c6.
free pawn.
Bishop c6.
Yeah, but black also, or white
Either
has to
white
worry
doesn't.
about
I
the
think
pass
white
pawn,
might
passing
not have
pawn.
seen it.
You know when you
It looks to me like
Yeah, he's
we
worrying too
could've-
much about this pass pawn because H pawn's gonna queen on a light square. G pawn has to go through a light square.
Black sees the pawn now, but now loses the. Oh, that's a
bummer.
bad loss. Black is in trouble now.
Yeah, now they can. Yeah, they can almost resign.
Well, rook d8 here, something. Rook d8 might just. Why not rook d8? It attacks the d4 pawn, and let's see, maybe rook e3, rook d4, e6, but you can still maybe get back. Black has to do something. Rook d8 looks like the only chance.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going nowhere. That's a crazy nowhere
now
move.
The rook can go f3, take
Yeah,
the file if it
terrible.
wants to.
Terrible. I can't look anymore. I'm going back up to board one.
Paul is not happy today.
Okay, so let's see. We were here at bishop d2. Black played knight b6. Knight
Yeah,
takes,
that's
pawn
just
takes,
strength the c pawn.
d4, and let's see. He can't take,
Can't take.
I guess.
Yeah, that c pawn's strong.
He did take twice on d4.
Can't you exchange the bishops now and? There's just.
Bishop c3 and resigns.
Okay, well, let's see what.
If queen d6 or queen g8, I mean, I can see that black maybe was disgusted with his play. But is it time to resign?
Probably
so-
not ready to resign. It's even.
Oh, so if queen d8,
kind of that rookie
rook d,
D1.
yeah, let's see,
D1.
queen c7, queen d8.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Rook. Okay, so rook ad1 and
Aren't you
then
gonna-
queen c7. I doubt. Oh, then rook d7.
Rook D7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
can resign here.
Rook d1 and rook d7. A bloodless victory for Stearman. The two youngsters just on boards 1 and Rui on the Ruyan on board 8 or something. Time to sign the notation sheets. Yes, Andy Lee. Andy, good to hear from you. We're glad to have some strong chess player who's been crushing people. Good to see you too. Yeah, Andy. So you're back teaching school, or is that why you're not playing in the Tuesday night
I
tournament?
think he had a kid, or will be having.
Oh, that's right. You're having another.
That's why he can't play, because his wife allowed him to play in the last couple of games, right?
Andy.
So congratulations.
Andy, yeah. I don't know. Was the baby already about to be born already?
I think so.
Wow, Andy.
Right? Andy's.
No, he says no kid yet. So that means that
Probably next week.
Next week?
Yeah. That's
Wow.
probably still a good idea to be around at home.
Yes.
I don't know, Andy. You
Yeah.
should have come in and played tonight.
No, believe me. I'm with his wife.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
You should
not.
stay home.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This was a bad, a poor game, I think. All right. We'll see. This was an incredible, bloodthirsty game. Andy, you know, I'm going to show this to you, Andy, because you might not. It started out as this old school Nahdorf. With the b4 move and knight d5. This is theory from 35, 40 years ago. And I think that rook e7, I can't believe that that's the right move. I don't remember what the theory is exactly here, but I don't think it was rook e7. Black's running away. Black continues to run away. And if white has to play queen h3, which doesn't even threaten anything. I mean, I'm not sure. What does Queen H3 do? Yeah, not rookie 7. Oh, yeah, rookie 7 is a mistake. I'm positive of it.
I'll play it.
And this Queen H3, what's going on here? Let's go back to King D8. Bishop H4, Andy says, possibly Knight F5. This is an old Velimirovich game, I think, and an old Tal game, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely Rook E7 was not played. Knight C6 check is possible here. Knight F5, but not Rook takes E7. Okay, well, somebody can look it up in the books and let us know later.
I was gonna say, what does Bishop H4 do in this position even?
Well, it threatens Queen G7. Sort of opens up but Andy's saying Knight C6 check first. And so it's a Najdorf gone wrong, and it's definitely went wrong here. And like I said, Queen H3 doesn't even threaten anything. I'm not really sure what Black does need to do some untangling. And starts with H6. And now Knight E6, White just throws more wood away. This can't be good.
Yeah, here Bishop H4 is probably better. You can redirect the bishop. That's not going anywhere.
Let's look at the material here. White's a rook and a piece down. So this threatened mate, and Walger saw it. And then, okay, so
now you're
Black is a rook up, a rook ahead. Plays to eliminate the pawn on D7. White still got some cheapo moves like rook takes D6.
Oh, that's the end.
Wow, is this really setting Black major problems here? What about rook D8? If G7, Queen takes G7. I just can't believe that this is going anywhere. I mean, Black does have to be a little careful, but
yeah, they don't have enough.
yeah. Okay, so I think I mean, Black just has to find the way to sort of consolidate here.
Yeah, if there's a way.
Elliot was on the phone. Oh well, we didn't pick up. We can try to call him. I can try to call Elliot.
Yeah, not much left in this game.
Okay, let's move on to this game where Black was getting sort of strangled. Okay, that's a common kind of idea to get to. And Black finally brings the rook. If Black can get the bishop to D5, but right now this bishop has nothing to say in this game. Black bishop. White has all this pressure. Queen E1 check, King H2. I mean, Black is not gonna. This is just bad position for Black.
Yeah, the rook's got nothing to do. It's protecting a pawn.
This is lost.
A6 is hanging. That bishop has nothing to do.
Let's go back to this game where Black was also just Knight B5. We saw this. Knight C8. C4, opening the position up, which I totally approve of. This is a piece sack, but it doesn't look like much. Black can't take the knight, I think, because the pawn takes pawn and
they don't have a secondary piece.
It's just that makes sense. White is opening the game up.
I mean, I was always taught you need 3 pieces of sacrifice. You need 1 to sacrifice and 2 to checkmate.
White continues to build up, but maybe it was better to play D5 right away, because if Black can. Okay, so coming into F6. Why did Black do that? I guess maybe he had to. The threat of Knight D6 check is huge. Probably got sick of looking at that. Okay, so just devastating. Russell gets himself into trouble like this for this is a common theme of these passive openings. And sometimes you just have to slap yourself in the head and say, I'm never gonna play like this again. You know? You keep going through the same kind of horrible experiences in chess, and the only thing you can do is correct it and make changes. Otherwise, you're going to keep losing games in the same way. And Russell has. I've watched plenty of these games now of Russell finding himself in these, especially with black. It's difficult to play with black. It's difficult to prepare with black.
Definitely easier to play with white.
You have to get at least 1 or 2 systems under your belt where you don't just wind up getting routed, and that was one of my problems when I was a competitive player, is finding an answer for black, and a couple of good solid systems. This is horrible.
Yeah, or what I'm finding now working with a coach I never had before is finding similar openings to reply, at least the same way, so you have a good idea going into games what you want to play.
It's easier to play with white. You can sort of coast. You don't have to know much opening theory. But with black, you're going to get massacred against a well-prepared player if you do not have a couple of solid openings under your belt. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, you should
Elliot
like white.
Winslow. All right, good. I'm glad you're here with us. What is our problem? You can't tell a bishop from a pawn. You're right. We can't tell a bishop from a pawn. Okay, so Russell's in trouble here. Let's keep moving on. Elliot, I'm going to ask you, are you joining this tournament later on? We actually entered you into the tournament. So, what is anniversary follower? I don't know. What is anniversary follower? Anybody know what anniversary follower is?
Oh, you might be in Orlando for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I know you are in Orlando, Elliot, but are you coming back to play in the Tuesday night marathon? That's what we entered you. We actually entered you into the tournament. Next Tuesday. All right, you're back. Good. All right, well, we put you in the tournament, so I think we gave you 9 buys. You don't know if you're playing. Yes, I don't know. What are you playing? Hard to get? All right. That's enough of you.
Let's look up how Elliot did. Did we know? Do we know?
Elliot, did you finish? You didn't lose any games in the senior.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mingson? Yes, Mingson.
Son.
Mingson. Yeah. So Elliot says, just in time, he is playing round 2. Abel and Judith. Elliot is playing in round 2.
Sounds good. I will enter him.
Is he on there?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
entered.
Yeah, we
He's
entered you,
He's
Elliot.
entered already.
We entered you. We knew you
I
were.
entered him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said he barely did well enough in the senior championship that I put him in. Right?
Just to.
If he was half a point lower, I would not have put him in.
Oh, Mingson needs a G. Yeah. Well, we're trying, Elliot.
Oh, he's not ready to tell us what we did wrong.
I'd like to. I'd like to spell your name with 1 L and 1 T, but.
I'm glad he hasn't skipped a beat and is able to tell us everything we did wrong.
From 3,000 miles away, you're giving us hell.
And what? It's like midnight there. Okay?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, past midnight.
So, Elliot, are you?
Orlando? It might be 11.
Florida.
Yeah, part of Florida.
Are
Isn't
you
part
playing-
of Florida still the Midwest time?
Oh, is that right?
I think part of Florida
But
is.
it's like way in the end.
So, Elliot, are you playing
I've
in
never been to
the?
Florida.
Ask
Are you
Elliot what
playing
time
in
it
the
is.
regular U.S.? Yeah. What time is it over there? It's 3 hours. Must be 3 hours later.
Yeah.
It must be 3 hours later. Yeah, we know it has a G. Your name doesn't have a G in it, though. All right, I'm through with you. Let's.
We're gonna put one T on his name.
Okay, so let's see what's going on in this game. B4. Great books in the bookstore there. Okay, bring some back. B4. Okay, what happened in this game? Yeah, we were here, right?
Yeah, getting
And
space,
then
we were looking
C5,
at take. We were,
B5.
oh, and then play B5.
Let's see. White didn't play B5. Maybe thought it was a little. Maybe black and played Bishop D8 or something. Maybe she just thought.
Can you,
Or knight
even
D5.
if you play if you play B5, Bishop D8, can you take?
You could maybe take
Rook,
and play
rook takes,
B6,
king takes, B6.
and it flies through,
Yeah. So you're gonna at least get the exchange back,
if
but
not more.
If not more. Yeah, you'd have the two minor pieces for the knight. You have to worry about the c pawn, but yeah, B5.
Gilliot.
Uh,
So B5, Bishop D8, Rook D8, King D8, B6, Rook D7. That wouldn't work. Bishop D7, King D, Knight D7, B7, and you make a queen for the pawn.
What if B5 knight D7?
Yeah, Bishop D7. Yeah, see, it's not that clear.
Yeah.
All right, so White takes on C5, probably intending Rook C1 if Bishop takes C5, but that's what happened. Rook B1
looking for the
instead.
mate.
Threatening mate in 1, which is my favorite move. Knight D7, A4. So White just gave up a pawn, kind of
Yeah.
to tie Black down a bit.
And you. Yeah. So even can we go back a little bit, look and see if B5 Knight D7.
We don't have any capability here.
Yeah, but
we can just go. All we can do is like
we can talk it out.
we can try to talk it out.
Yeah.
So B5.
Has to be Knight D7 because I think we went through Bishop D8. You go down the exchange momentarily, and then you can just push that pawn as far as you want to.
Knight D7.
Knight D7.
B5, Knight D7.
Bishop takes.
I don't. It's just not going. Bishop takes. Rook takes.
Rook takes.
King takes.
B6.
King
yeah,
C6,
C6 doesn't
yeah.
work.
White's. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could still play B5.
Knight D7.
Knight D7. Can you?
I don't know. White decides to do this, but now the question is, why not Rook C1? Maybe the discovered check is maybe Bishop takes A3.
A3,
Okay,
yeah,
all
you
right.
move the
So
rook
Rook
anyway.
B1, hoping that the mate threat would be overlooked.
Yeah, at this level, you're probably not missing too many
Yeah.
big ones.
Okay. So Bishop D7. That looks like a peaceful move. Bishop D7 check and Bishop E5 now, but then Rook D7. Okay. Bishop D7. Rook D7. Bishop E5. Rook D2. Then Bishop G3.
Bishop G3.
Yeah. This game could be heading towards peace. Yeah. Peaceful. Black is not playing ambitiously, and White's aggressive play has been neutralized, I think, pretty well here.
Yeah, it looks like you might get into an opposite
If I was
bishop endgame.
well, it would be the same color.
of.
Yeah. But if I was White, I think I'd play. Let's see what Andy said here. This is not a blitz tournament.
The rounds would be over.
Yeah,
Well, it's bad
Yeah.
because if they're commenting on one of the.
if B5 Knight G7 is okay for Black, yeah, that's what we're kind of
Yeah.
coming to the conclusion. All right, so Natalia is not getting anywhere in this game. Let's go on to the next game. Melville Ivanov. Wow, this game. Let's see. Okay, so 94. Queen E8, check, take. What?
Keep going.
Okay.
Oh, you transitioned to it. Okay. Okay. All right. We're just are broadcasting our games into the next room without. So knight g5, queen g6, h4,
We were
bishop f3. Okay, that just. Why didn't the bishop just
go
do
one more square.
King b6, which is a good move, I think.
Yeah.
Because now the knight can go back to c7.
Maybe.
And this is just.
Well, if the bishop's gonna go there, why not at least go
Why
to
didn't it?
c7? If your target's d6, keep your target the same.
Ivanov, though, has the sometimes tries to make things too complicated for himself. So I'm not sure if that's what's happening here or not.
c5.
I mean, black has to be better here. He's up a piece, and white's
Oh, they open up the nice
white's
diagonal.
really not getting anywhere with all of this stuff. You know.
Yeah, and it looks like 93 is coming next.
Okay. See ya. All right. All right, I don't want to look at that game anymore. Michael Lynn. Okay, this game. Bishop g5, knight df6. We weren't sure what was going on here. h5 was played. Queen g7. Oh.
King doesn't have to take.
And now we're back into thinking mode. It's like white's looking for some winning move here that just never appeared. But bishop h6 and
After all this attacking f4 from black, doesn't it just shut down?
if black can play f4,
Shuts
but
down pretty
you know
much
white
everything.
can play queen d2 and try to castle quickly as possible on the queen side and bring the other rook over. This has been an ugly game.
Yeah, but they need to find all the
I think
tempos.
it's been a
yeah.
really misplayed game by both sides. My intuition tells me that this has not been a well-played game from the beginning. I'm going to go back over it a little. I mean, of course, I'm just doing superficial analysis, but Queen e7, g4, that move is the wrong approach here. And did the bishop would the bishop have been better on d3? I'm not sure.
Only if you can make a break in the center, but otherwise the bishop's kind of trapped.
c5 was another, not sure.
And I think here white could probably take more time. They could have probably played queen d2 here because now they don't have to worry about the f.
Could have played queen d2 and castled on the queen side. And
Then
after
you
c5.
then you can push the pawns.
Yeah.
Because what are they going to do to really prep it?
And then brought the other. This is maybe white's being a little impulsive here. And black didn't play h5. Incredibly, in black, this is like black should just play h5 here, I think. Instead, this is very risky.
Yeah, because h5 kind of shuts down all of white's ideas.
And now, what about knight g5 check and knight to e6?
Yeah, and we were looking at that earlier because they have to play king h6 or king h8.
So
now there's play for black. But even if we go back a few moves,
yeah,
king h7 is an idea in the King's Indian, especially to get h5.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
This gives white too much play. King's not in a very fun position.
He's still trying to find a way to come in though. Queen d2, maybe, you know, the
Queen
pawn
d2, then f4, and
then
then I
the
think you
pawn-
can start shifting the king over to
but also
g7.
the pawn e4 is hanging. So on queen d2,
Yeah.
he could conceivably play f takes e4, and then let's say bishop h6, knight h6, knight g5 check. Maybe that's not so good, actually. Okay.
But
Queen d2, f4 would be, and then castles.
castles.
It looks to me like um,
Black
this
whether
should
the
be
storm.
this should be very strong.
Because if you're going to spend all the tempos
for
to get the
white.
rook over to g1, to get the queen back into the attack, that king can safely run towards the center where it's going to be okay.
And white could even play knight b5 at some point. White's looking better here. Okay. Back to this game. This was a very interesting game too. Okay, so he took, and knight d4. These guys just do not let up. You know, it's like that is a very strong looking move. There's almost no way to meet that. White decided to play knight d4.
Oh yeah, and you almost have to take because
Yeah, because
otherwise, what do you do? But I mean, the queen's misplaced on h3.
And now the queen g4. Yeah, this has been a debacle almost.
Here you can just
But
make
rook
white.
maybe play rook g8.
Yeah,
but
then
knight
where's the queen
e6
go?
check.
Knight e6, king.
Walk into the pin, but then knight
Yeah, don't wanna do
d4
that either.
check and rook g4. That's possible. King
Yeah.
f3.
So maybe rook g8's the best, or not the best.
Yeah, maybe not. Bring the other rook into the game. But black king is still remarkably, but knight f5 is coming. Queen b2. The white king can go to f3 and then to g2 and be completely safe. Isn't that? There's no justice in
Yeah.
chess. You know, it's like.
Can you try if you're black bishop f6?
Doesn't that
first
just
you can-
chase the knight to f5 where it wants to go anyway?
Yeah.
And the black king is still insecure. I know white just somehow rook b8. If knight f5, rook b2 check. So white has no time for
Can't you
So
match that
rook
with
C-
rook b1 even though?
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's try rook c8, and that way I can play queen b2 check and win the house.
So rook c8. What are we playing?
Rook c8 looks like a move.
Rook c8. What if you just go king f3, go
King
to
f3 and then rook
G2.
c2, and then
Oh, you can't- you
rook
don't have enough
f1.
time, yeah.
But then rook f1.
one?
Yeah, I mean,
So you
white
can play-
white needs to go. White needs to get that king into g2.
You can artificially castle here then.
Yeah,
Yeah, rook c8's played.
c8's played. Look, I'm a genius. I'm predicting the moves.
So yeah, rook
Okay.
f1 and you probably
Yeah,
pretty good.
maybe another couple of prophylactic moves for white before he can start to do anything. Get that knight back in. Okay, let's go down to the top board in the under 1600 section. We left off with this. We didn't think that black had
King
much
f3
hope.
takes the open file. Good.
Now he plays rook d8. Check. And white is offering, of course, this exchange, which black
And
refuses.
Push that past pawn.
Oh no, that ran into e7.
Yeah.
Rook check. Black tries one desperate thing, but this is
Yeah, you just simplify.
into a completely losing endgame.
Oh, they probably could have ended it even a little faster.
And it's still going on, but
Yeah.
clearly black is lost. Okay. Not an auspicious start. Let's go to board 2. Walter Lee. Queen g3 was played, and queen e7. So if rook d6, queen g5 check ends it. That's a very good move.
Yes.
H4 stops that, but then queen e5, the black queen has been activated. White runs back, threatening something, maybe nothing. Black
Yeah.
is still trying to needs to be careful, but it's just a matter of time.
You just play rook e8 here. You threaten another trade. You get the other rook active.
Queen b6 check. I guess rook b7.
7. And then
Yeah.
you don't have anything else without exchanging the queen.
Yeah, rook e8 is a good move. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nice and simple. Just some my system. Just take the open file.
Centralize.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good move. It's a good move, coach.
So
Yeah, okay, so let's see. This game,
there aren't too many bad moves though when you're up a rook.
yeah, this game was heading for black not doing well, and he's burning up time. So, I think black is going to find this very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult to defend.
Well, we have a move.
Queen a3 trying to set up a counterattack, but what about rook a7? I don't think black has any time for this.
So well, maybe their idea is
Lift,
rook b2 and
but rook a7 you have no time for
oh,
rook
you
b2
have it,
mate.
yeah, mate.
So you have to take time off to play
Play
g6, and then you can't even play rook b2 because the rook takes a6.
Yeah.
So this is just
Yeah, this is
going from bad to worse. I think black is unable to find anything here. On board 4, knight b5. Okay, so Russell took on in b5, gave up the exchange, offered, played knight c6 with a double attack on the rook and the pawn on d4, but white just took it.
takes. Yeah, rook. Oh,
And this
Oh,
is
you're
just
giving up
another game. Threatening mate in 1. Never say die. White sees it, and now that pawn has gotten. Oh, this is just ridiculous. Another game where black is a rook down.
and shouldn't this one be pretty easy? You just play queen f6 and you're.
The clocks have actually stopped, so I'm not sure what.
Oh.
They might not have marched the kings into the middle like
Yeah.
we do on the DG keyboards. Is this game over? The Askin Wong game?
I think there is one,
Board 4,
Yeah.
yeah, it should be because
Board 4.
queen f6 just ends it. You're threatening rook. You're threatening the rook. You're threatening mate.
Yeah. Okay, so this is now Sotokova versus Chen. Let's see, and white does bail out with bishop d7 check and bishop e5
asking versus one also.
f6.
Let me get that. Just one.
Where's the bishop want to go?
This is a boring game.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Well,
go to the next
Whoa! What if does white have
bishop
anything with?
g3.
What about bishop
B8?
B8. Yeah, you got a little life there because then they have to go a6. Rook's looking at b7, but that doesn't do anything.
I don't think it does
Because
yet.
king c8, yeah.
Yeah, bishop b8, rook a6. If rook b7, king
King
c8.
c8, yeah, it doesn't pan out yet.
No. Yeah, okay. Melville Ivanov, this was going black's way. And so this is, okay, white has actually won another pawn. So has 3 pawns, but his position is so open, it's hard to believe that he's going to survive. But the threat is queen takes d7. So where's the mate? It's one of those positions where it's like, knight f4 and queen e4 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe even switching to. No, 'cause you meet f3, f3, then you play queen e3, check.
It's still crazy unclear.
Yeah, I think knight
Let's try
f4
to
is.
knight f4. Yeah.
Because then you're hitting the bishop, which is threatening. If you take, you open up the g file. It's just another way to attack the king.
On the other hand, white. Okay, so if knight f4, queen takes d7. Let's try
Mhm.
to get more specific here. All right. So if I play queen e4, is there queen d6 check? I can throw that in. Maybe I should throw that in. Queen c6 check. If king a5, I could go back queen c7 check. It doesn't look good for white to do that. He does play knight f4.
So you probably
Alright,
see
so
queen
if queen
d7.
d7, knight h3 check, king h. Let's look at
Yeah,
king h2, rook f2 check. If king h3, rook h2, king g3, rook g2, and the queen comes up to d3. That's mates. So knight h3, king h2, rook f2. If king takes h3,
and
then
rook
queen d3. check.
Queen d3. Yeah.
Right away. So he has to play rook f2 check, then queen f2, and he gets cornered and checkmated. So knight h3 check will just win after queen takes d7 without any problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that looks good
I
to me.
think so, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see if that happens. Maybe this game, queen g6.
Oh, there's more moves.
There was a few more moves. E takes f5. Bishop came out. Take.
Now you're just giving black more space.
Knight h4 is the knight h4. This might not be so. Yeah, queen g5 and knight f5 and queen f5 and bishop d3. Not quite working because of e4.
E4, yeah.
But white can play queen d2 maybe still, and then castle on the queen side. Although black can play queen f4. If black can survive this and not lose quickly with all the pins on the h file and everything, and white just, if white was castled queenside, the game would be pretty much over. But still hanging on.
Yeah, but you're making black play precise moves too.
Yeah. Knight f5, queen f5, queen d2, then queen f4. Probably forced. Then bishop d3 check. King g7. Still not clear. White needs to be castled. Okay. Oh well. Let's go to the yeah, this game ends in a win for actual checkmate on the board. Albert and Tom Mazer, this game, rook c8 was played.
Star's opponent.
Okay.
Break down the game. So then,
Yeah.
we'll be in the hot seat.
Oh goodness, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were.
And we have the added surprise benefit is he had absolutely no idea he was going to be asked to do this.
Yeah.
So Sanjay Saraf, his
Right.
name is. You don't have a FIDA ID. Do you have a FIDA ID?
So I signed up 2 days ago after 15 years of not
Yeah.
playing.
And you haven't played outside the US ever, right?
No.
Okay, so we'll be requesting you a FIDA ID.
I don't
Okay,
think I
because
have. I only have the USCF one. Is
That's
that the
fine,
same
and
one?
FIDA ID is free.
Okay.
So it's actually my job to request it, but when we had to put in the name and said looking up your FIDA, no, you don't have a FIDA
Don't
ID,
have
so it's
one.
good.
Yeah.
So this may be the tournament you are getting FIDE rating.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to get FIDE rating than
really?
USCF rating, but you're on the right track.
Okay, well, there
So-
you go.
Okay, have a seat. Do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
We met
Yeah, just the other day.
yesterday, and you
So
put me
this
on the
is-
top table, didn't you?
Well, hi Sanjay. Welcome back to Tournament Chess. So you played on the top board in your section,
Yeah.
and that's because I think it was Albert that made you do that because he was the top player probably.
That's right. Yeah.
And so you defeated the top player in the under 1600 section.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody says, bottom heavy soccer mom. Could you please recommend a tall, pale, and earthy late 30s chess coach? She must be okay. I think we're going to take. Maybe you're not a real person. I think you're just what do they call it? A troll
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our site.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And I am bottom heavy, so I don't.
No. This is somebody who we should ban from our.
Okay, let's ban
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You're just completely a troll. So we're just gonna take you out.
Oh, let's see.
I don't know how exactly you do that, but
I don't either.
there's a way to do it.
Ban user. There you go.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Yep. Simple.
Good. There
Okay.
you go. Okay.
Now we
have
don't
fun,
get
guys.
distracted by morons.
There you go.
Except for
All
me.
right. Okay, Daniel says, yay, they're gone. Yeah. Good job. Okay. All right. So, okay, so let's see how this game
Yeah.
went.
So he.
So it was a very slow opening by White. Black had no problems here.
yeah.
I looked at this game already. Black had a very good game out of the opening.
Yeah, he played the Petrov, and I wasn't as familiar with it.
Right. You could maybe try to win a pawn here by playing Queen G5.
Oh, interesting.
Not sure that it would work or not. It's a little risky to go
and-
pawn grabbing, but you could think about it.
And after he castles, what then?
Knight takes
then knight
E5.
takes. Yeah.
Okay. So instead this happened. And
This light squared bishop was a real pain because it was so cramped.
yeah, it's got very little future. And this happened. And again, this is a completely unnecessary. It's a better that White denied the
Here
B4
was to
square.
prevent.
But
yeah.
his move had no value. A6 had no value that I could see at all. And F4 and castles and rook F8. And I mean, it's hard to say what White should do here, but Black still has a completely. And now Black should use this E5 square, which he does.
Yep.
This way. And it might have been better for Black to have gone back with the knight there right away. As you can see,
They didn't have very much play.
yeah, neither.
Yeah.
But this maneuver to B6 doesn't do anything. In particular, maybe Black should be thinking about moving the C5 pawn up to C5. And you got this is a committal move for Black, although it's not necessarily bad. And this is a good reaction on your part. You need to do something.
Right.
You don't want to just get overrun. And so this happened. And now the game has definitely taken on a much sharper turn. And so, this whole maneuver of the knight to b6 had no real value, like I said. And this was a good offer for you. And I'm not sure that Black should have done that, which strengthened your pawns in the middle. And also...
Well, I'm happy with the bishop against the knight.
Yeah, and actually in this position it started to just get a little better and better and better for White. Although Black still should have held the balance here, I think. And sort of blows were exchanged. Black's king heads back into the middle, which was probably good. And he's holding your pawns up. And this was a very risky move
Yeah,
for Black.
I didn't.
As it turns out, it's a kind of a winning attempt, and maybe it's not bad because Black seemed to hold the balance here. I thought, it was very risky, but you played well. You kept your head, and should Black play f4 here? I don't know. Maybe it's this
Well, so
was
the logic
this
behind
was
f4
bad.
was I would play bishop takes knight and then
Right.
try to win a pawn, but
So
I don't know
f4,
if that
bishop
would
takes
hold.
knight, f takes g3, doesn't work, rook f8. Okay, so, this was bad though, because look, the rook, it blocks its own rook out of the game, but I think maybe Black's f5 was not a good move, I don't think. If he can't play f4 and get something going, this was, although he managed to get it in anyway. Black is barely holding here, and maybe should not be holding. And that was odd too. Let's see, maybe you
Maybe
should,
king.
maybe
Yeah, I was
king,
thinking about it, but
possibly. Because you
I
never
was worried
want
about the
you never
b5
want your
break.
you never want your rook usually defending like that. Although sometimes, so Black gets this in. And I don't think Black should be so much worse here, but that was a horrible blunder. You could have played bishop takes c6.
So I thought about bishop takes c6, but then after
Let's see what.
after pawn takes bishop,
Oh
then
really? Rook takes rook?
then rook takes rook, and then I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get back in time.
Well, let's see. But how can he? Your rook is coming back over on that way,
Okay. Yep.
right?
Yep.
I think it's just no good at all for Black.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's a good point.
So bishop takes pawn, pawn takes rook, g3.
I was
You
thinking of
can
rook along the
take-
b file rather than
You
along
can
the
take
a.
and then go behind the rook on the g file.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it's always worth looking at and making and double checking at home. I'm
Yeah.
just that's my intuition talking right there.
It's not one of the.
C4. Okay, so you're defending laterally. King d7. He sort of sees that threat. Bishop f5, but he loses the pawn. But does he? Because why didn't he play rook d8?
Well,
Okay, so he had a
so
chance
the-
here.
the main rule
This
is
was
that
just
you
senseless.
move and then you
Yeah.
write.
Knight g2 was
If
absolutely
you have the
senseless.
option of
What
announce
about
that
rook
the
d8?
figure score is okay,
It's
but we
still
actually
not
announced
clear.
It's not okay. So
You can't
first
defend
one,
that
defend it.
d5
morning,
pawn.
Third time we might.
And
What I would probably
think
do.
possibly
I think maybe,
Maybe attack the knight?
C4. Maybe c4 was not the right move back a
Okay.
few years ago, because
it's so much easier to look at.
let's look at this position. Although it's a little scary now.
So I thought that the idea behind
Right.
c4 was to defend laterally. I wasn't
Right,
worried about the pawn
right.
chain. But yes, you're right.
But bishop
that,
c6 was the opportunity, I
Right.
think, here. Although knight e2
Okay, so paper score
creates
variations as
another possibility. Oh, then you can play rook
So this is
d7
what,
probably.
well.
It's a little scary. You should
Right.
you should check it out. You should analyze
and
it
then
further at home.
rotation.
But this
Player
happened,
must first make the move,
and then this after
pawn
knight
is on
g2
the
it was
score
all
sheet,
over.
score sheet,
I don't think
visible, blah, blah, blah.
he got
And
another
then there's
chance.
a paper score
Yeah.
variation, but
So here I knew that there was
we
a
actually
faster win, but I didn't.
and
I
that
got.
means I really don't
I figured
like
I'd go
it.
for the easy one, so I just accepted that.
This was
it
just
is,
yeah.
It's
This
just
is how it
habit
is.
because
Okay.
once the paper
Congratulations.
score is
Hey, thanks.
A,
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
A, B,
It's a pleasure.
but then
Good.
electronic,
Congratulations in
electronic,
entering your
notation sheets, you can actually
first chess
see the
tournament in
position.
years and
Yeah,
that's
15 years.
and beating the top
So
player in your
kids are
section.
more-
Yeah, there you go. Maybe I'll be in the next
It's
section
just-
next time.
Yeah.
I distinguish between
Thanks.
Playing
the
good
right
chess.
move and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Very good.
Am I gonna see this as a meme later?
As a what?
As a meme?
I don't know.
First, no, because it's not a, it's a very minor in chess. So no.
Thank you, David
yeah,
Pruce.
Maybe warning again and then.
David
it's
Pruce.
for the club.
David Pruce says we're looking good. It's
We're
the
looking
first,
good.
It's the first time he's seen our stream.
Nice.
Andy Lee and David Pruce are
Nice.
Very good. Thank you. We're doing the best. I don't know, but just looking good. I mean, like we're trying to make some semi good quality stream. You know?
So, David, what's happening with the pro chess? Are you still the manager? Are you doing the MI team? Kind of hoping.
Yeah, well, you might be there.
For now.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's see what else is going on here. Let's go back up to board.
He's still hanging on.
Board 2, where Michael Walder offers the exchange of queens. No, I'm sorry. He's
Yeah.
King S1, board 10.
Michael Walder is just barely hanging on here. He's a rook down, but he's still
That's-
battling it
That's
out.
pawn is
He's got a
unstoppable
rook down
there,
for,
right?
like, ever.
I know.
Doesn't Queen G1 just
Queen G1 check. That's a good looking move.
Queen G1, then you can trade the rooks off, and your
Yeah.
life's a little easier.
Yeah.
Pawn takes, rook takes.
This
C3.
this is just a baloney
And then
attack.
wherever they go, then Queen C1, isn't that just mates?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Queen G1. Or
No.
that's a good move too.
Yeah, but Queen G1's more forcing.
Maybe.
Queen exchange, but
I like
Here-
the idea of keeping the queen centralized and eyeing that G7 square, you know, that pawn there too. Anyway, at some point Michael will
do you give any sort of counterplay now by Queen A6?
then rook takes C3 check. That's definitely going to be leading to a quick mate. Yeah.
Whatever you do, you have to do it with.
Yeah, that's the problem here.
Yeah.
Eric Lee is cruising to victory. All right, and let's see. This game we Queen A3, Rook A7 play, G6 just like we predicted. Queen D2, Rook B2 is not even a threat, as we saw,
Oh, yeah.
and now the threat is probably Queen D7 or just about anything.
Annie rang Hannah today.
She doesn't need
She doesn't need it. He made it. Today.
the full, but she has all norms.
Yeah, because she outright won the under 20, and she got a.
It's on.
She doesn't
So I do not like this for Ethan Boldy. He's losing, I think, to Armin Baradaran, who's a master playing in this tournament for the first time. All right, let's roll off to our next game. Oh, this ended in. Okay, let's see how this game finished. It probably didn't go on for very long. He saw the mate
we
in
got to
one,
this part.
and then he went back to Rook
Just
H8
resigned.
and just resigned.
Yeah, Queen F6 was coming.
Yeah,
Alright, you don't need Queen F6.
it doesn't really
It doesn't
matter.
Queen F6,
Another-
Queen F7.
Okay, this is Sotokova Chen. F6, Bishop C3, Bishop B4. Whoa!
Oh, just give him the passed pawn.
Unbelievably bad move. I am sorry. Why just give a pawn away? There was nothing.
Yeah, now you're just playing for a draw. You don't even give a chance at a win, but
You could play King C6 and if
You
Rook
can play anything
B5,
else pretty
Bishop
much.
B6,
yeah.
The under 20.
and then find some activity for your Rook. Just unbelievable
And there's no
play
real time
here.
pressure.
Okay, so
You got 20 minutes still.
here's possible. The thought was maybe that you could play Rook B7, but then Rook D1 check. So just giving away a pawn, and now it's a difficult draw
And one
Yeah.
GM.
if it is a draw.
Uh,
I wouldn't know, really, but White has all the chances to play for a win. So,
yeah.
and had almost no chances before this. So, okay, let's go to Ivanov Melville. Knight f4 was played, and White played Bishop f7. And
That eliminates the rook f2.
Yeah, but how long can White survive this? Queen e4. Like it, I'll tell you one thing though, is that Ivanov has a way of sabotaging his chances sometimes, and especially even in positions where he's winning, can sabotage himself. So I think this position is clearly a win now. Queen
Yeah,
e4,
Queen e4,
f3. Black can
f3.
chop 2 pawns with Queen d4 and Queen e5.
Well, do you even need to? You have Queen e3 after f3.
Yeah.
Check. King has to go to h2. Otherwise, if he blocks with the rook, there's a nasty knight h3. And it's played.
This is just terrible for White. White's
'Cause even-
losing pawns with check, if nothing else.
Yeah. f3, Queen e3.
f3, Queen e2.
Queen
Oh,
e2.
then Queen h6 check and Queen takes f4. Gotta be careful. I played Queen e2 because there's to threaten.
Threaten the mate right away, but
So if Queen e2, Queen h6 check and Queen takes f4 might survive for, would survive. I was hoping for Rook f2, Knight h3 check.
yeah, that would have been.
But now Queen d4 check.
Get at least the advantage.
Yeah.
Queen 3. King has to go to h2. Then can you play?
You can chase the king up to. You can play Queen g2 check and force King f4, but then what?
Probably don't want to give up that much material.
Not unless
but-
you've got something right away. Bishop d5 would be strong at the end of that. You would gain that might be good enough because you could.
Yeah, and then you're pinning the bishop. Or you could play it safe and just queen times d4 and
And knight e5 or queen takes e5 maybe. I think that being up 2 pieces. Oh no! It's a rook for 2 pieces now. Okay, so that's actually with White having 3 passed pawns, even though they'd be blockaded. I don't know. There's some crazy unclear stuff going on here. But here comes. Oh no, that's not.
queen
Is the bishop trapped?
queen e3,
Queen.
king h2.
Okay.
Then what about queen
D2. King G3.
and then you've got knight e2.
Knight E2 check. Yeah, I can go back to H3.
h3.
I would have taken that pawn at D4 with check. Money in the bank, unless this is a forced win, which it might be. Okay. All right, we'll come back to it. There's a sequence here. There's a definite sequence here that's going to happen. Lynn versus Melville. Let's see what happened here. He did take on f5, and he did play bishop d3, and he did play queen d2. Oh no. Okay, so I see. He can't defend. If he defends on the knight with the queen, then he can take on e4 anyway. He plays knight g4, bishop e4, rook f8, f3. Funny, he can't play queen takes f3, can he?
Can you,
This just should
instead
not.
of knight g5, what about knight g8 instead, so it's not attacked by f3?
Same thing though. White can just play f3 to defend the bishop. So black has to do this. So what happens on f takes e4? Queen f3.
Yeah, you stop castling, you're attacking the rook. But
Yeah. Amazing. I always like king safety. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of king safety. And this is one of those. What about knight takes e4?
knight takes e4.
Queen can't take on f3 because the knight
No.
g5 check.
Yeah. Now you can't take f3. You're
That's
So
it.
getting ready to
I
castle,
think that,
yeah.
So maybe black. Yeah, that's probably Jin.
yeah.
Knight takes e4. Pretty simple to see. I mean, if you can't play, if f takes e4, queen f3 looks very difficult.
Yeah.
So knight takes e4 looks
Maybe
kind
instead
of
you don't have to
simple.
worry about knight f3 is played. Now you don't have to worry about queen f3. White itself can castle pretty
If
soon.
white can castle, the game will be over quickly. Okay, very good. We figured something out. These bottom three boards, Mazer lost to Cortinas. Oh, he resigned after rook c3. Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh,
rook
we
c2 a little more-
overlooked that. That's a nice move. Wow.
Yeah.
Threatening queen d3.
Right. Yeah.
We did not see that, folks. That is really a fine refinement, a refinement of an idea. The white king. What if white had played rook, the other rook over to
Yeah,
f1?
yeah. If the other rook goes over, do you have rook d1 then?
Rook, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Rook d1. Then they play rook c2 check.
King f3.
King f3. Oh, and
Then rook f2 check.
Well, you've got the other rook on f1.
Right.
Yeah. Rook
So-
f2 check. Then you can recapture.
And then queen takes d1 check. And then if you can't play king g2 because the queen takes
Yeah.
g4, you have to play rook e2. Ah, interesting.
Yeah, that's the wrong rook.
He played the wrong rook.
Yep.
And rook c3 is a beautiful finishing
Yeah.
move, actually. Very, very nice, quiet move. Marty Cortinas found a nice finishing move against Tom Mazer. Rook
Right.
c3 here.
Yeah, but if we go back and move.
We were just looking at rook c2 check, king f3, and the king goes in and hides, but now queen d3 is devastating.
Yeah, the rook 8 f1 is a big blunder.
Back here, if he had played
Locked.
the other
Rook
rook
over.
to f1,
Then he survives.
but maybe
Why would
rook
that-
c3, right?
Rook c3, then you can play rook d1.
And then rook c2 check,
Okay. Then you can run
king f3.
f3 and.
Then you play rook takes f2 check,
Mhm.
rook takes f2, queen takes d1 check. You have to play rook e2.
Yeah.
And that's a upset. That's a big upset.
Cortinas, what's his rating?
I mean, he's like 16 something, and Mazer's like almost
Could have,
2,000.
yeah.
1697.
Oh, almost 1700.
And he's like Mazer's 1902. Couple hundred points.
Boldy game just got interesting. Why not just king f3 right away?
It is. I was just looking at that.
King, that's true too. King f3 right away.
Yeah. and we
Maybe
looked at
rook
that.
c2.
Rook c. Oh yeah, rook c2 check. Then where's the king go? And queen's got f.
Yeah,
F2.
you can't. That's why you
Or
can't
rook has
play.
f2. You can. Oh no.
Oh, no,
queen,
no,
Queen
wait.
f2.
Yeah.
Yeah, queen f2. King runs the h3. Then you've got checkmate on g2 with the queen because the bishop covers h4.
So what about what he's saying? What about king f3 right away here?
We'll go to G2.
King f3.
King F3.
If rook c2, then you play the rook over to f1. So that's right. That's a good point. King f3 right away. Just combining the ideas that white needs to do. He needs to play king f3, so you should just do it right away.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, the H rook over to F1 or the king to F3
Yeah.
first.
Very good. Very good. So the Boldy game just got interesting. Okay, let's look at it.
King safety for the win.
Queen d3.
Queen's getting more active.
Whoa. G6.
G6.
Queen d2. Queen d3. Maybe white should exchange queens because after queen a5, rook b2, there's suddenly the threat of maybe playing rook takes g2 check.
H2. King F1. King goes
With
back
the
to
perpetual check.
H. Yeah, you
So
lose
what
the
happens
draw.
if queen a6? That would be wait a minute. If queen a6, black could even try queen f3. Yuck.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh my gosh. That's a reversal, a complete reversal.
So you can't take the bishop.
Queen a5 was maybe a typical thing of not calculating carefully enough. White had plenty of time.
Well, what's the queen's idea on a5 even? They've got d8 blocked off.
And rook b2 was the obvious move to look at, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, or at least it was a candidate move.
Yeah. I mean, here, black or white should have probably just exchanged queens and
Then
play with
been
the free
on
pass pawn.
Exactly. Yeah. Suddenly, this has turned into a horror show. Hi, Erica. How'd you do?
I won.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. So queen a6, queen f3, and suddenly it's curtains for white.
Yeah. Anything for white? Well, I don't know. You'd have to take the
can't-
bishop with the rook, but then they still have the perpetual check with rook times
Well,
g2.
okay, so
So
you
if rook takes a6,
well, then what about let's go queen f3 again.
okay, but then you have the idea
Oh,
queen
then you have
d8.
the
You've got your own perpetual
So what about queen d2?
queen d2.
Rook a6, queen d2.
So rook times a6, queen d2. Then you can play rook. Well, then you can't you just exchange?
Oh, you
just
exchange
exchange.
queens.
You're just up a piece then.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
So yeah, rook times a6.
maybe
It's just a draw offer, yeah.
Rook a6, queen
Because
e2.
even if you play rook b1 now, rook b1, or sorry, rook a1, king has to run up to g7, and then you play queen d8. I don't think we saw mating that if they sacked a rook.
Who sacks a rook?
If black's rook a1 check, king g7, queen d8.
Well, no, we're saying black plays queen e2 or queen c2, right? So you're
Yeah.
saying rook a6. I'm saying
No. So rook a8.
Oh,
for
rook
white,
a8
for
check now.
check, yes.
King g7.
G7.
Oh, and then queen d8.
White queen to d8.
Oh, that's a
offer the
very.
exchange,
And black either has to do that
or they have to do rook times g2. Rook times g2.
But
King.
black wins by playing queen takes. Black wins by trading queens and playing bishop to f1.
Queen shade. Queen f1. You don't have enough tempo to get rook d1.
So after you play queen d8, I just trade queens.
Yeah.
So we're
So that doesn't work
talking
either.
rook a8 check, king g7, queen d8 loses to queen takes d8, rook takes d8, bishop f1.
So then does rook a6 work? Rook times a6.
So rook a6 may hold the draw because if queen e2, then you can play queen d8 check with the draw.
Yeah.
And if
But I don't see any.
so you're right, rook
winning
a6 is the move. Rook to
rook
draw the
times
game
a6. But
because black can't get out of a perpetual check. I don't think.
and we can't even look at wild moves because they don't have a mate yet themselves.
Oh wait a minute. What are we talking about? Rook a6, queen d5.
Queen d5.
Yeah. That simultaneously
So, yeah.
covers d8.
Uh,
Wow, this white
So you
on
can't-
the,
you can't
white
take
is
the
on the
bishop.
precipice here of a loss.
yeah. Well, when you play queen a5,
You're taking your
you're
queen out of the game, completely out of the game. I mean, what does he have to do now? Play queen e1 or something?
queen e1.
God, this has just got horrible all of a
Well, there's
sudden.
queen e1.
Are you guys reviewing so viciously?
Baradaran versus Boldy.
Is that right?
Yes, Erica. We're being joined by Erica Malikan,
Oh,
who just won her game. Congratulations,
It was a fun
Erica.
tactic. I had to give up a piece.
Daniel
It was nice to
Perlov.
hear the pass pawns running down the center of the board.
Yeah, he took my.
Did you take that rook on f1?
Yeah, so what he ended up doing is he took the bishop because he saw the extra piece, but didn't see that the double pawns. He at the end of the day couldn't save the day.
Yeah.
Hey, what, Michael?
Yeah, it was
did
fun
you
game to watch.
save your
It was
game?
fun.
No,
No. All right, Michael. Congratulations. You want to come and tell us about
Get
your
on the
game?
TV,
About
so
how
I
I
don't
lost
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
want to
think-
break down the game of
you
being
know.
down a rook?
I think you lost it when you played rook takes e7. I think that's not booked. I don't think so.
No, I think knight f5 is.
Pull your chair in a little
I
bit
was-
more.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Years ago, I studied a game of
I think,
Quitonius is against Rezhabov.
what about Velimirovich? Doesn't this go back all the way to Velimirovich?
Oh, you're talking about Fischer's line with Castle's queenside. Yes. Then there's bishop takes b5.
Hold on a
but-
second. Let's
But-
see. I want to try to find your name, Michael Walder. Are you
No,
on
no,
here?
I'm Michael Bear today.
No,
Don't ask me
you're
why.
Michael Walder.
I am, but for some reason up there they had me as Michael.
I know. We apologize about
That's all
that.
right.
We need to put Michael Walder's name up here.
If it was,
All right, Michael, scoot in a little bit more this way. All right, I'm here with National Master Michael Walder, who just lost his game, but is against Eric Lee. You played most of this game a rook down.
yeah, it's
So
funny. There are.
let's see exactly what went wrong here.
Yes, I'll just take lots of photos with a
All right.
chessboard. I'll be that one weirdo walking
So
around.
this is all been played before.
Now 95.
Yeah, that's what Quitonius recommends in his.
But I think this goes back way before Crotone.
No, I know. but I'm
this
just saying.
is this is like 1970, early 1970s.
Yeah. So I've actually played this against the Fermian, and I almost was going to play the Queen Sack line, except for it's not supposed to be so good anymore.
All right.
But,
Are you talking about with Bishop E2?
No,
Okay.
no. I'll show you when it comes up.
All right.
So here. In fact, that was funny. I was just talking to Nick about it. So, also a move here is e5.
Right. That's the normal one of the normal moves.
Well, except for the queen sack is not so good anymore since there's computers. I've
Is
had
that
some,
E5 takes, knight H5,
and then
and then E6 or something like that?
yeah. I played that against Nick and had a wild game where I
Okay.
ended up with a bishop and 3 pawns versus his queen.
Okay.
But
Okay, so now this position Bishop h4 or knight c6 check.
Yes. Those are normal. I was for the life of me.
Rook
looking-
e7 cannot be right.
No, actually, Rook E7 is played later in some of these lines. I agree with you. I just, for the life of me, couldn't remember the Knight F5 stuff.
We actually have a list that's scholastic.
And
You just have to look this up. But Rook e7.
I think Bishop H4 is what I think Quintonius played. And
Can you play Bishop f5 here? That's another question. And wasn't there a game where White played something like Bishop f5 with the idea of playing Bishop e6?
yeah.
But it doesn't seem to work here because of Bishop g5 maybe. So I'm not sure what you should have played. Maybe Knight c6 or Knight f5 or Bishop h4. But Rook e7 is too much, I think.
Yeah, I just thought it was going to be fun, so I gave it a shot. Yeah, unfortunately, on bishop takes, he can play with pawn takes. Otherwise, my attack is really interesting. So
This is, I mean, after Queen h3 doesn't even threaten anything, which is, I mean, that's kind of horrible.
yeah,
You know,
well,
when
the
you're rooked
alternative,
down.
is put it back, queen back. Is I was looking at also. I'm just playing knight e6 here.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna have to analyze this at home, but it just seemed to be with black just kind of taking your material,
Yeah,
trying to reduce the
Well, yeah.
material. This has got to be lost.
yeah. What's funny is there is
There's a lot of cheapos here.
well, actually, what's funny is he got that rook out. In Quintonius's game against Rajabov, he also had 2 rooks versus 1.
Oh,
But
really?
but White had an extra tempo in his attack and was coming in with his pieces and was actually winning the game.
Incredible.
It's wild stuff. So
Okay.
so my original intention, I thought I was doing fine here, and then I realized I wasn't. I thought originally that I had a queen to g3.
Andy Lee says knight c6 check.
Yes.
And Daniel Perloff says too much wood in the chipper, Mr. Walter.
Yes, I agree, but it was fun. Originally, when I was several moves earlier, I thought Queen G3 was.
Hey, you guys. I'm not sure if everybody can hear y'all's conversations, but you're kind of loud over there.
But on Queen G3, he has D5, and I missed that several moves earlier. Otherwise, if he didn't have D5, it's actually quite exciting.
No, it was exciting, but I immediately knew Rook e7 because I'd seen that position before, and I wasn't sure exactly what was right or wrong. But Rook e7 was not a move.
Yeah, well, I'm lost here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get as tricky as I can. And that's a nice move there. And finishing it. Otherwise, I was hopeful for something like Rook takes e3, King d2, Rook g3, and then knight g5. Yeah. And then,
Nice.
you know, I mean,
Elliot was talking to us.
Yes. What's funny is Elliot and I looked at the Quintonius game like 6 months ago. I just don't have any brains anymore. Memory. My memory is just shot.
They have to use tape players or CD players.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, what happened in this game? This was an incredible. Okay, so Queen a5, Rook b2. He played Queen c7. All right, so he's going for the. That's a move that we didn't even look at. We were thinking that Black was. So now he plays Rook g2 check and forces the perpetual. Forces the perpetual check.
No, I'm saying like just old school like flip flop.
Amazing. This was actually, even though it doesn't look like it, it was a narrow, well, first of all, it was a very narrow escape here after there was this position. And White could have just played Queen takes d3 here, right? With a, and then a4 or something, or Bishop c6 or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, played Queen A5 and got rocked by Rook B2, and now actually White has to force a draw with Queen C7 because, for example, if Rook A6, Queen D5.
Well, so
If Queen A6, Queen D5, you know.
so wait a second. So if Queen C7, does Queen F5 work?
Tournaments even in Berkeley have done it. The
But
same thing.
what with the idea of playing Bishop F1?
I haven't had an issue.
Maybe.
The only time I've had an issue with
And if Rook takes, then you can play
Oh, Rook
Queen,
A6.
well Rook A6 and Queen E4.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
and that happened one time.
But then you can just force a draw with Queen D8 and Queen F6.
Jason Childress.
Yeah.
Jason Childress.
Oh, so it's just a draw a different way.
Yeah.
He listened
Okay.
to music, and he was playing Ivanov,
That's awesome.
and Ivanov could hear.
Okay.
So then I went.
This is going to end in a draw.
I went and stand.
Ming Chen versus Natalia. This was ridiculous with Black just giving up a pawn for nothing.
But I normally don't care. Head, bones.
And
How do you
now
feel
he's
about it?
cruising for a loss.
Depends on who.
Yeah, it depends on.
This is a game that
Like
Black
if
is
you
going
Yeah.
to sorely regret.
Yeah.
I guarantee, you know, I think this is probably
The opponent.
close to a
that-
win
that's
for
it.
White.
I'm more
Oh, it
inclined
feels
to find
like
a
it.
solution to make a
Maybe
condition
Rook F5.
Yeah.
acceptable
Rook
that
F5.
doesn't give
What do you do
him
on
or
Rook
her
F5?
advantage, right? So like,
Ugh.
what's his name?
You can't play Rook G6.
Sanjay's.
No.
Well, maybe you
I don't know what's
can.
his first name. Remember that guy that he's like a 7th grader, 6th grader.
This just
7th
feels
grader,
like a
maybe
win
8th
for
grader
White,
now.
and in fact, that's actually maybe a good idea to
Yeah.
play king
He is so sensitive
to
that.
just
This
concentrate on the G, using the G
Sure,
pawn.
it's just-
But you can still. That's
So
just
we
bad.
have a
Something's gonna
we have
give
an
here.
ongoing agreement that he
And that's the
wears
last game,
big
folks.
headphone, but he
Uh,
has to show the plug that it's not.
I'm going to go to the facilities here, Michael. If you want to try to give some of your opinion about what's going on here.
All right.
Go ahead.
Instead of the
Okay. Well, I'll
The loo. I'm just going to go skip to the loo.
skip to the loo.
Interesting choice on
Yeah.
board.
This is the final. Final.
last game.
There
Yeah.
was a beautiful checkmate on board 3 or 4 when the queen was coming in with Queen E3.
Oh, we didn't see that.
Yeah. I don't remember the players.
I do.
Boldy?
But I had 2 pawns. and
No, no.
it
Oh
wasn't
my
able
gosh,
to
what
get
happened
through.
here?
Yeah,
No, he didn't take the
I
draw.
missed,
Oh, no.
a bishop
How did
for
this-
a rook.
How did this happen?
Why tried to win? Too hard. Oh my gosh.
No, it was winning.
Whoa.
It was 3
Oh, he
shots
played
in
King
and winning.
H3 instead of King H1.
That's why I was like,
Oh
King
no.
H1 loses.
yeah.
It
but
does?
they had, like, a
Oh,
party,
wait, it's like,
and I had 2
Why-
shots,
why
and I
does-
was
King
like,
H1
okay,
sorry,
we
King
gotta
H1 is a
stay for
draw.
a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I was like,
King
half
H1.
an
Oh
hour
my.
before I have to
Oh
go.
my.
Oh my gosh.
And
This
then
was
I-
just
and then I go to the game
suicide.
And you're ahead on time.
Yeah. Well, obviously, he took it.
Oh my. Oh, that's too bad.
Cool. Can we go back a little bit to? I want to see what he played.
Unbelievable.
When we last looked before when the queen.
He played Queen C7, which is a move we didn't look at.
The games are gonna end. I gotta help them clean
And then rook times.
Yeah, if Queen D5 here, Queen F7 check. Okay, so you had to force Black to play Rook
Yeah,
G2.
looks like black wanted to. At least, black at least gets a draw.
But that's a mistake.
That's a horrible, and a master. 2200 player just played that.
it. Monday or whatever.
Oh my.
Oh well, but look at black had no time.
Black
White
had
had
no
all the time
time.
in the world.
Yeah,
Oh, that's just that's hard.
Yeah, I wanna go down.
Yeah.
yeah, amazing.
What?
The Baradaran played played instead of just playing King back to H1, which Black would be forced to take a draw with Queen F just going back. He played up to H3 and got mated by force.
Oh. Wow.
That's almost unbelievable. There's he started to go off the rails with Queen A5 when he just
Yeah.
you could see that he wasn't calculating anymore. He just was making moves, probably unwilling to believe that things had changed around. That's
Plus,
what happened.
He was higher rated, right? So he's trying.
He's a master, yeah.
He's trying to find.
But you can't just.
Yeah.
You got to play the board.
You
This
gotta
is
play the
crazy.
position, you can't play the player.
Yeah.
Could he go back and forth between G2?
Yeah.
I'm not H1. I was just looking here. Continue. So there, check on H3.
You went King H3. That was
Right,
the
right.
end of the
What was
game
it?
right
So
there.
Bishop F1, G4, Bishop back. Can he go back to H3? Can you go back to H3?
Oh, that's right. You could have gone.
No, can't
Queen F1, King H2. Yeah, he could have. He still had a
You
chance.
still have the draw.
He still had a chance, as though he was
Determined to lose.
determined to lose. Queen F1, yeah, determined to lose. That's the move that gets the double question mark. Just gets mated in two. Unbelievable. With all that time on the clock too.
Fatigue.
All right, I'm gonna leave with Sodakova versus Ming here. This is where we are now.
What was Ethan Balding's game result?
A win for Ethan.
Actually, whoa.
For Arman? Right? Ethan won?
No, Ethan won. Unbelievable.
Wow. That's an upset. Okay. And, yeah.
So White doesn't want to play King F6 though because of Rook G4. So
Right.
I'm not sure what White's doing
Can I ask one
here.
more question? What was the Master Cortinas?
Cortina's won,
Thank you.
and that's Mazer.
Mazer, sorry.
Yeah, no. It's,
Thank you.
how's Frank?
Oh, he's doing well.
I'm asking about Frank Thornley, folks.
I think.
It's okay. Proust, Queen E2, King G5. Queen E2 check is better after Queen E4. Oh yeah, so Queen E2 check was actually a bad move in that other game that we were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on with here. I can't stand. I guess Rook H8 or something now. And then. David Olson says sizzle biscuits.
This is he. Just one.
You have to shut that window down.
Can you look at Rook B5 here? We don't have we don't have the capability of actually moving the pieces. Rook B5. I'm not sure where that was.
Which no, 38. So 38 instead of G4.
Rook B5. Maybe. Well, then Rook F4. Okay. I'll be back in a minute.
So Bruce, if Rook B5,
I like your trench coat.
Thank you.
Definitely.
then Rook takes F4.
To a T.
Thanks.
I spoke to you, Paul, about
Natalie's wife?
Stevens, and you told me to get in
Yeah.
touch with the
Right, but they didn't know anything.
They didn't know.
Yeah, so if Rook B5,
They
Rook
said they
F4,
were
I
gonna
think
call me back, they never did. So I guess it's
that draws.
a mystery. I tried to call him. and
So
he said no
here-
today. Of course he wasn't answering.
So what? King D2. Is he within? Oh no, it shouldn't take it. I guess. Or does it matter? King D2.
Interesting.
Oh, he did take the pawn. Oh, you find the set.
I'm not to go home. Good night, guys.
Good night. So what's going on here?
Somewhere.
King
It's,
D2.
Amos.
Pushing the pawn, I guess. So if what? G5,
G5,
then rook to A1.
A1, king king G7. You take
Well, then you go to E.
E6 or E7. It doesn't matter. Then king H7, and you can just walk the pawn in. So they can't trade there. Or even if they play rook A6, you just play king G7, and then if they exchange the G pawn just takes, so you can't play that. Rook A8 doesn't quite work. King, I think this is just lost for black.
So wait a second. So on rook A1, you're playing what?
If they play rook A1,
Right.
rook A1, rook. If you play rook H7, check. It doesn't help anything. Oh, you can just play G6. If they play, what are they gonna play? You already have the king can hide away on H7, and you can just push that pawn as far as you want to. Uses a win for it. I think you can just push it. G6.
G6, rook check, king G7, king to E7.
Then we have the Lucina position, right? I mean, at some point, right?
Yeah.
So this is the white king is in front of the pawn, folks at home, and I think this is a win now for white.
But you have to know how.
I think Natalia knows
I
them,
think-
every Russian schoolgirl.
Okay, there you go.
Nice-
Yes.
And she was a Russian schoolgirl at one point, so she must know the Lucina position, and that's what this is heading for. I think the white rook is badly placed right now, but it'll swing around back.
There's a book coming out by Joel Benjamin that tells a story of his first tournament as a
I think I heard
grandmaster.
about this book. I heard
Yeah.
it's a good book.
Liquidation, yeah, but he has a great story about Victor Korchnoi, and they're reaching an adjourned position, and Korchnoi sacks a pawn in the very end for even material, and then looks really confused when Benjamin seals his move. He goes, "I know triangles," is what he said, you know, and Benjamin
I
was
heard about that.
yeah, I was confused, but he says after Gurevich showed him how easy it was won, he apologized to Korchnoi. Korchnoi says it's ABCs, ABCs of
So
chess.
Benjamin won't beat Korchnoi in that game?
No, he lost.
Oh, he lost.
But he didn't realize he was losing till Gurevich showed him. He would have found it, I'm sure. But yeah, this is.
Well, this has been badly played by Black.
Oh, good. I was the only one
So
floundering.
Frank's
on the
doing
topos.
okay?
He is recovering strong. His surgery. I think almost all the effects of it has. He's adjusted. Okay.
I guess G6 here.
Or,
I mean, even
Rook
if
F.
yeah, even if the white king gets pushed in front of the pawn, it's still going to lead to the Lucina position and a win,
Yeah.
right? So,
Isn't just Rook F6 though easy?
well, Rook G5. Don't want to give up that
Oh
pawn.
no, I'm sorry. Hello. Good morning.
And the king just came from F6, so
You're
she's
right.
probably going to play G6.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward. Rook F1 check, King G8, and then King can come over to E7. But then the Rook can come around and force the King back over a file. And
Yeah.
is Elliot playing in the regular U.S. Open now? Like
Yes.
one of the schedules?
Yes. He.
The 5-day schedule?
Oh,
or
6-day
4
schedule.
It's a 6-day schedule.
Yes.
And then he'll be back for the next round of the Tuesday night marathon. He
Uh,
said. That's what he said.
That's yes. Unless he's dead exhausted and needs another half point.
Right,
But,
right.
I mean, this is a lot of chess back to back to back, and
Yeah.
we're not spring chickens
Well,
anymore.
he's kind of Mr. Chess.
Yes, he is.
So do you guys think?
This is a win for White.
Oh, Natalia.
Yeah. There's a famous position called the Lucina position, and this is coming to the Lucina position.
Okay. Very interesting.
So
And
the
black
white
is
king
down.
the white king is going to have to stand in front of the pawn, and it's going to be difficult to get out. But the white rook can make a way to. This is what every Russian schoolgirl is taught.
So Natalia should know.
So Natalia will know how to win this.
Yeah, the rook shield, the white rook will shield the king from the black.
It's called building a bridge. It's a very famous elementary tactic, endgame thing. It's like one of the first things that a chess player will learn in an endgame. One of the most important things. So white can just first of all, right now white can just play pawn push, king into the corner, and queen. So this was a poor choice by black. It just loses right off the bat.
It doesn't put up the biggest fight.
I guess no, that's not true. If pawn push, king can come over. Yeah, but then the king just goes. Well, then king f7. Okay. So there's a couple of moves that will happen here, but it's inevitable win for white.
Listen, so if pawn push,
Right.
king, and then rook to h4, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Rook h4.
yeah.
Put the rook anywhere back.
Yeah. Win for white. Kind of a dramatic round. A lot of your game. We have two masters playing in the first round. It's interesting. Like it's hard. So just pawn push, king over, rook h4, and then and then king into the corner and queen. Lots of chess. Yeah. We've had some. We have our fans.
Oh, Bruce Richard is here too.
Yeah.
Hi, Bruce.
We have our fans, and David Proust and Andy Lee were with us for a good
Nice.
part of the evening.
Good.
We've had 5,081 people look at our stream
So you're
On
going to join
Twitch.
us, Bruce, next week?
on Twitch. So.
Hopefully.
Okay, so now white plays rook h4. This is the classic position that I'm telling you. White plays rook here,
Mm-hmm.
and then checks the, and then
Why does he have to play?
He has to
because
get closer to the pawn,
you have to.
otherwise rook h.
You don't want the king to be able to attack the rook. But this is the easy. This is the. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so if king f7, rook h7, that's even easier.
And black's down to a few seconds, so he's still fighting though. Rook h7, this is, and she's got all the time she needs to find this move.
Well, she wouldn't have played king h8 without knowing that she could play that. All right, that's it. That was very simple. Very simple. Nothing can stop the queen now. And his time is ticking out, down, and that's it, I think.
Okay.
Okay?
Probably involved in.
Folks, that is it for this evening. For round one of the Tuesday night marathon. Come join us tomorrow for the simultaneous Mammadov simul here at the Mechanics Institute. We're going to be live broadcasting that starting at, I guess we'll start at about, the simul starts at 7. But we'll probably start live broadcasting around 6:45, I think. So join us then, please. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night from the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. This is Paul Whitehead.